Hello. Uh, Good morning, Ray. Yeah, I was muted. Thank you for um letting me know. I plugged this mic in after I set OBS up, so I'm guessing that. Anyway, what I was going to say was the song intros kind of um they kind of I have to edit the stream afterwards, and it gets annoying with the copyright and stuff. Here I am. Yes, you can hear my dulcet tones now. Fabulous, darlings. Wonderful. So yeah, I was gonna do Rosie today, but I couldn't be bothered. Um, I just thought I'd just do whatever and hope for the best. And I'm a little bit earlier than usual. I don't know if I'm infringing on anybody's time. I hope not. Um, but yeah. So we're going to talk about Etienne Bernard, Ethan Bernard. Um, so I've come to a decision. I was talking to Zebs, my other half, and I've what I've been doing too much of is trying to be like a kind of crusader in terms of like being in the weight loss space, because there are a lot of liars in the weight loss space. For every journey with Sal, there's an Ethan Bernard. For every Johnny Goes Running, there's a Taylor Sowers. For every Brentley G, there's a Quirky Love Rosie. Welcome in, Debbie. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Um, so I'm going to stop like being a kind of moral crusader on social media when it comes to these weight loss grifters, because it's just not doing my mental health any good. So the best thing that I can do is talk about it to you guys in my little hug box in these live streams, and then forget about it after that, because at the end of the day, the tide does turn eventually. These weight loss grifters do get found out, so you can't argue with cult followers. Don't waste your breath, your time, and mental energy. Yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm learning now. I just can't. I just can't get involved with it. And if they come to me on my channel, then I can just delete their comments or block them. It's as simple as that, really. Um, so yeah, we're gonna have a look at Ethan. So he posted a video. This was on the third of February. Okay, so he's done a little. Good morning, Jen. Good to see you. You want to hug that jumper? It's very warm. It's very lovely, I must say. It was only it was only like £8, I think, from Quality Discounts. So, Ethan Bernard did a little before and after. Okay. So this is before February 2025, and this is after February 2026. Okay. Now, you're thinking, wow, that's a really good change. He's done really well for himself, right? And you would be fair saying that if you were just to make this one assessment from these two photos here, right? I mean, look at this. He's got a really big face here. He's got a lazy eye. And now look at him. When I go back to Chicago, I feel it. That's what the song is, by the way. Um, and he looks great. It's fantastic. It's wonderful. He's lost weight. Hooray, yippee, well done. Until you see that this is the video that he posted the day before.
Change the course. I've been doing it all wrong. At the beginning of 2025, I made a realization that changed the course of my weight loss journey forever. Once I started caring about more than myself, and I considered that the results of my journey would also have an impact on my future family, that kicked me into a gear that I've never been in before. I lost.
So, what happened for him to lose almost £100 on from the 2nd of February to the 3rd of February?
I don't even know. I'm 26.
Just trust me, you'll be fine. Yeah. What's happened? What happened for him to lose such a dramatic amount of bloat within 24 hours? I'll tell you what it is. It's the slimming filters that Ethan uses. He uses a tremendous amount of slimming filters on his videos. And for some reason, yeah, displayed prominently. Um,
At the
so
beginning
so he obviously didn't use any filters here. And you say, oh, maybe it's a one-off. Maybe you didn't use any filters elsewhere. But we're going to come to some more
I'm doing a
here.
72-hour fast this week.
Let's just talk about the madness at the moment. So Ethan lost a little bit of weight a couple of weeks ago, and he decided that that was not enough. And Ethan isn't was now about to go on a 72-hour fast because, as you know, when somebody with an eating disorder goes on a 3-day fast, I'm sure he's not going to binge for the rest of the week. I'm sure.
I'm 25 hours in. I actually feel pretty good. I'm down here getting my steps in on the treadmill. My legs are already softer than they were yesterday, so I know they're holding a little bit less fluid. And I've been trying to force myself to chug some water. I don't know about you guys.
I don't know. He sounds a bit out of it for being 25 hours into a fast. As if chug your water and you poop my legs are softer. Okay.
Guys, but I'm not really thirsty when I haven't eaten anything, so I kind of have to force the water down. But I am making sure to stay hydrated. I'm taking electrolytes, and at this point, I'm already a third of the way through. The longest fast I've ever done is 70 hours. I think tomorrow is going to be the worst day for me, but I'm still excited to get rid of some of this water weight, reset my body a little bit after that crazy month we had last month. It's going to be good. I have some more steps to get in.
That crazy month where he was supposedly eating 2,500 calories and walking 10,000 steps a day, and yet he only lost 3.8 pounds in the month. Hence why he was doing this fast. What did I have for breakfast? I had a bacon sandwich this morning. I got some bacon from the butcher yesterday, a couple of slices of tiger bread. Delightful. Um, so yeah, 72-hour fast from Ethan
I
here.
haven't had any calories in almost 43 hours. And you know what's pretty cool? My stomach and my legs are actually a lot softer right now, so I know that they're starting to release a lot of that fluid that I was retaining. For me,
Keep the slimming filters. Nobody's head is this long. He's got a head like a bloody rugby ball. Come on, Ethan. It's like even Foodie Beauty's filters are not as bad as this. Good morning, Zizi. Welcome in. I'm doing well, thank you. Hope you are too. Anybody believe he could go that long without food? See, he has said before that the Jocko Fuel that he's sponsored by, which is like protein shakes and stuff like that, he doesn't see them as calories. So it could be that he's having this fast and he's drinking the milkshakes in between, you know? So
someone who's dealt with food addiction the majority of their life, there is no better showcase of discipline than being able to just sacrifice the thing that your flesh wants the most. And almost equally as important, not going overboard when the fast is over.
which I think is what he's done. Good morning, Venus. Good to see you. I think a better show of discipline would be to actually eat in moderation and leave it at that, as opposed to your binge restrict cycle, which is what he's currently doing. We're obviously going to go into a few more of the videos, but yeah, it's just not good when somebody has an eating disorder. One of the worst things you can do is restrict yourself too much, and I know that from experience. I've gone through periods where I would restrict myself. I've gone through periods where I would punish myself with exercise, and that was just recently. And now I've learnt more about myself, and I'm understanding that it's okay to just have stuff in moderation every day, do exercise in moderation across the week. So I don't know. It just makes absolutely no sense what he's doing. What am I having for lunch? I don't know yet, Debbie. Probably just a My Protein ready meal, I would say.
That is what I struggled with last year. Fasting was a huge part of my initial weight loss last year. I used to do a 36-hour fast once a week. Right now, I'm in the middle of a 72-hour fast. Day 2 is always the hardest for me. Yesterday, I actually felt pretty good. Today, I'm starting to feel a little hungry. There's nothing wrong with that. I feel good, I've been staying hydrated, I've been taking electrolytes, and I'm actually going to the gym today. 30 hours to go, y'all. This will be my longest one yet. I love y'all.
I don't understand why he's so proud of this. It's just so silly. Um, then people in the comments are like, what about eating according to the diet and pushing harder in the gym? This just doesn't sound like a healthy way to be doing things. Your body needs calories. Can you talk about how you do this and still exercise? I get very lightheaded when I don't eat. I'll tell you what, darling, he doesn't exercise. All right.
Just got back from the gym. Here's a strength day for a big guy trying to lose weight and get stronger. First movement was the incline chest press machine. I did 3 sets of 12 reps at 85 pounds today. May not sound like a lot of weight, but by that third set, my arms were struggling. Next up was dumbbell RDLs.
This guy has a hernia, by the way, and he's doing um Romanian deadlifts? No, you shouldn't be doing this with a hiatal hernia.
We're back again using 40-pound dumbbells this week. I could really feel the pull in my hamstrings with my form today, and I did 3 sets of these at 10 reps each. After the RDLs, I did tricep pushdowns. I was struggling with these a bit because I tried to push to 50 pounds, but I did get 3 sets of 12 reps in. And last but not least, my most flattering angle, as you can see, cable rows. I did 3 sets of 12 of these at 90 pounds today. And no conditioning today. I'm just going to head home.
Yeah, all right. You don't need to look at the camera like that, mate. If he was doing it all the time, obviously it's not working for him. Yeah, exactly. He's doing if he was doing 36-hour fasts once a week, then he would have shed a ton of pounds by now. But I just don't believe him. He uses slimming filters, he lies to his audience. So, anything I see him do, I take with a pinch of salt because it seems like he just goes to the gym to film, does his little bits and bobs, and then it's like there's no sweat on him. No sweat at all. And it's just like, come on, mate. You're a big guy. You're still over 400 pounds. You're going to sweat. And this guy has no sweat patches on his shirt, no sweat patches anywhere. I don't believe him, yeah?
I've had this many calories in the last 50 hours, and I don't even feel hungry. I just think I'm hungry.
I've had I've had 0 calories in the past 50 hours. He's talking like he's drunk.
You know what I mean? I'm going through some fat man crap right now. I went to the gym today, but I still have a bunch of steps to get in. I've been doing one of the worst things you can do, and just laying in bed and doom scrolling for the last couple hours. Oh man, I gotta shake it off. 2/3 the way through this thing. I gotta be more productive. I've been leaning too much on the distractions to get me through this. 50 hours with no calories for someone my size? Shoot, I'm proud of that, man. That takes some
You shouldn't be proud of that, really. And the people that are saying, well done you, are complicit in your restrict cycle, Ethan.
serious willpower as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna throw on a show, hop on the treadmill. Tomorrow's the final day, and I'm actually gonna stay up a little bit later tonight and sleep in a little bit later tomorrow. That'll make tomorrow a little bit easier. Just an update for y'all. I'm feeling good. I'm trying to kick myself back into gear to get these steps in, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
You may feel good, Ethan, but you don't look good, mate. You got puffy eyes, you're slurring your speech. Oh, it's not good, Ethan. It's not good. I know, fake positivity, toxic positivity.
It's super honesty time. I've seen a few comments this week.
Is it super honesty time? Why have you got your slimming filter on then? You look like a microphone. How many hours were hibernation? Yeah, like 72-hour fast, 60 hours hibernating.
Going, oh, he's doing a fast right before the weigh-in. Yeah. I put in a lot of physical effort last month and I didn't see the results that I wanted to on the scale. And
Okay, so you put in a lot of physical effort. What about eating? Because the majority of the weight loss comes from your eating, right? Um, what's going on, Ethan? You lost 3.8 pounds last month. You said you were having 2,500 calories a day. and you said you would stick to that, and then you was like, "Well, I ate 2,512 calories today." Well, that's not sticking to your 2,500 calories, is it, Ethan? And somehow miraculously at 12:49, at 11:49 p.m., you were doing just over 10,000 steps. Well done. Does he get many people calling him out in his comments, or does he hyper moderate criticism? He just comes off as so bogus and insincere every word he speaks. He has a really, really fervent audience. Like they just cling on to his every word. I experienced that firsthand. Some of his audience told me to unalive myself when I dared to say that he wasn't actually doing what he said he was doing. Um, and then if he sees a comment that he's not particularly fond of, then he'll try and be snarky about it and retweet it, and then that kind of sets the dogs on the person who made that comment, right? So it's a combination of both. It's hyper moderation and it's an audience that just believes whatever he says, which is incredibly weird. Yes, that's true, Ray Ray. Between the announcer voice, the million cuts and presentation, it feels that his goal is social media famous, not successful on his journey. Yeah, I would agree. So he is a failed Twitch streamer. He back like just before the pandemic or around the pandemic time, he used to get like 100 odd viewers, which is a lot for Twitch. Um, he he would stream Valorant, but the thing is, it was the spectacle of seeing a 600-pound guy in his parents' basement playing Valorant, right? There was nothing more to it than that. And Kel Surprise, when he got ill and went to the hospital, he came back without an audience. And the fact is that unless you have a dedicated audience, you're going to lose your Twitch audience really quickly. So there are Twitch streamers that I follow. They go away for like a week, 2 weeks. They maintain their audience because they have a good personality, they're informative, they connect with their audience. Ethan, you would think that he would have a lot of sympathy if he was in the hospital for such a long time, and he would retain most of his audience, but he didn't. It was just the sheer spectacle of seeing a 600-pound man get angry at video games. I kind of think he's kind of delusional in thinking that he's delusional that he's one going to think he's going to be a strong man at 300 pounds and eat 5,000 calories, because that is one of his goals, to do strongman and still eat 5,000 calories. He doesn't care about leading a healthy lifestyle. He just cares about consuming a massive amount of calories. I watched a video this morning of one of the UK gladiators, and a gladiator would do a hell of a lot of training, a hell of a lot of eating because they need to keep up their muscle, their endurance, and stuff like that. He was only eating 4,000 calories. So Ethan needs to kind of buck his ideas up if he thinks, one, he's going to be a strong man with a hernia, and two, think he's going to be eating 5,000 calories a day and maintain.
To put it simply, I want to see where I'm at on the scale without all the inflammation and water weight. 72-hour fasts are not something I'm going to be doing very often at all. And I committed to doing the 2,500 calories a day and the steps in January, so I didn't want to do it then.
Yeah, but you didn't fulfill your obligation for that, Ethan. You said you were going to do 2,500 calories and 10,000 steps a day in January. You missed the last 2 days and you were over your calorie limit quite a few days of the month, and you barely made your step goal. So,
Obviously, tomorrow's weigh-in is probably going to be freaking awesome. I haven't had any calories in like 64 hours at this point. But I'm telling you guys this. Whatever number on the scale tomorrow, that loss is not going to be all fat. And I don't really
yeah.
care. I'm obviously going to mention it in the weigh-in tomorrow. And for the people that are like, oh, fasting is cheating. You know what? Someone my size with a food addiction not eating any calories for 72 hours? You can call it cheating all you want. That shit's not easy. Call it.
I would call it restriction. I would call it being in the restriction part of your cycle, which aligns with eating disorders like binge eating disorder and bulimia nervosa. So, yeah, I'd say it's pretty bad for you as a person your size, Ethan, to restrict yourself so much. And also, when you're fasting for so long, you're not just going to get water loss, you're not going to get fat loss, you'll get muscle loss as well, which, he doesn't lift very heavy at the moment. So, having even more muscle loss is going to be terrible for his strength and endurance.
The shortcut. Call it cheating. I don't really care. I'm disclaiming it. I'm letting y'all know about it. I'm feeling really good. And I'm freaking excited for that weigh-in tomorrow. Because seeing where I'm at on the scale without as much as that stupid fluid retention I deal with my lymphedema is going to make me feel really good. Even if only 4 pounds of it is fat. Anyway, I just wanted to get that off my chest. I love y'all. Weekly weigh-ins tomorrow, and I'll see.
How much do you reckon he lost for this weekly weigh-in? Shall we find out?
How are you supposed to tell when you're actually hungry? A friend of mine yesterday said that he realized how much he used to eat out of habit instead of when he was actually hungry. And I was thinking about that. I pretty much always eat out of habit. I eat a meal shortly after noon, I'll drink a protein shake, have some snacks in between, and then I'll have another meal early evening. That's just my routine. This whole fast, I've really wanted to eat, but I didn't actually feel anything physically until about 36 hours in. So how much of what we perceive as hunger is mental, and how much of it is what you're actually feeling? I'm not an expert, but I thought it was a really interesting topic.
You are an expert bullshitter, though, because that was some kind of faux philosophy shit.
I did it! Look at this. As of right now, it has been over 74 hours since I've had any calories. That is a freaking record for me. I can't even tell you how accomplished I feel right now.
The fact that he's so proud of this is utterly bizarre. It's like, yes, yes, I fasted for over 3 days. Yes. What's going to happen now? The fast is over, so you're going to start eating. And your body's like, damn, we've been waiting for this for 3 days, Ethan. Come on, mate.
Being able to conquer my own flesh and push through this thing. And you know what? I'm not even going to break it tonight. It is 9:30 at night, and I honestly think it would be a waste to break the fast right now.
It would be a waste to break the fast because he's going to be weighing in the day after. That's why he's not going to be breaking his fast.
Because I'm not that hungry, and I could call it a night and get another 10 to 12 hours added onto that timer easily. You guys will see the final number tomorrow morning at the weigh-in. I am incredibly...
It's kind of... Do you think he's kind of like manic when he's talking about this fasting? It seems like he's just like really, really kind of sniffing his own farts kind of deal. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he's like, yes, I've done it. 72-hour fast. But you know what? I'm going to do another 10 hours.
proud of myself, and I'm very excited for it. I'll see you guys soon. I did. Just got done.
So this is him at 660 and this is him at 425. But we can't believe this because he uses slimming filters. He even used slimming filters here. Look at the size of his head. Big old long head Ethan. And he's cinched in here too. Look, the cinching in is very obvious here. So he's either using something to keep his hernia tucked in, or the slimming filters have gone awry. Because that's a very weird shape for a fella. So that looks cinched in to me. Just saying.
Grocery haul. And we parked all the way
Oh my
at the
God,
end.
grocery haul.
Gotta get those extra steps in where you can. Those strawberries look sweet. Found some blueberries that are questionably large. Bioengineered. And we don't mess around when it comes to fruit.
Why? 4 boxes of strawberries. 4 punnets of strawberries. Okay.
I'm gonna grab some chicken patties. Alright, I already
Why can't you make the chicken patties yourself?
have chicken, Greek yogurt, and everything I need for my salads at home. But I am gonna grab another thing of cold brew for my protein coffees.
So he's going to have protein brew. Welcome in, Mudslicker. Good to see you. You think everything about his journey's fake? Yeah, I would agree with you.
No sugar added lemonade is really good, and it's only 15 calories per cup. So a couple cups of this with a meal
is 30 calories for a big glass of strawberry lemonade, and it tastes really good. There's also a Ninja Creamy recipe I want to make. I have the protein and I have the mix-ins at home, but I need the milk. The macros are good in 2%, but they're even better in the fat-free. I know some people aren't about the fat-free. 80 calories and 13 grams of protein for 8 ounces of milk. That's pretty.
Is fat-free milk in America the same as skimmed milk in the UK? Can anybody confirm? Because actually, supposedly, skimmed milk is the most satiating liquid you can have in terms of like thirst quenching.
Good. All right, we're gonna grab some
Labor
extreme
breathing.
wellness wraps. We're gonna get a pack of the big ones and a pack of the normal size ones. I know this is expensive, but this Siete spicy taco seasoning and 93.7 ground beef,
Cross is big enough.
that's how you do taco night. Oh man, I know it's made of crap, but I am so incredibly tempted. I put it back. Not today, Satan.
Oh, well done, yo. He put away the Taco Bell seasoning things. Skim milk is fat-free milk. Thank you, Debbie.
I really want tortilla chips for taco night, but it's not worth it. Even the quote-unquote healthy ones, not worth the calories. All right, got some reduced fat Mexican cheese for the tacos. When I say tacos, I'm basically saying a taco salad with one of those big tortillas. Hold on now. Carolina Reaper cheese. 60 calories a slice. I'm thinking of making some burgers this week, and this is gonna spice it up just fine. I've never seen these before.
Now, he's finished a 72-hour fast, right? So he's gone shopping. And from what I've seen here, it's cheeseburgers, bit of milk, some fruit, and breaded chicken patties. I don't know, it's a bit of a weird shopping trip.
But these buns have 50 calories apiece. Not sure about the ingredients, but that's a good low-calorie option for this week. These are what we usually get, but these are 160 calories a bun. You know, I've lost 230 pounds in a calorie deficit so far, and one of
No, Ethan, I don't believe you've lost 230 pounds. I think at the most you may have lost 100, but the slimming filters are what make you lose that extra poundage, I would say. Has he purchased anything fresh? Fresh strawberries and blueberries? I think that's fresh, I guess.
the things I do is I look up lower calorie, higher protein versions of the foods that I like. So you can actually have stuff like burgers when you use 93.7 beef, minimal fat. Being able to eat foods that I enjoy while I'm on this journey helps out quite a bit. So my mom has actually really been enjoying the Jocko shakes lately. So I'm gonna pick her up a case of the chocolate shakes. I'm getting this for
Hard to lift, is it? If he's sponsored by Jocko, why is he going to buy the crates? Welcome in, Wicked Weird Wednesday. Good to see you. The neck and the chin is a dead giveaway. Even the fat activists are using the face limming filters. Yeah, most of them do. Well, we're going to be watching a podcast of his. We're going to be watching a podcast with Ethan Suplee and Ethan Benard after this. And he still uses slimming filters in that because he's at home using his camera. You shop the periphery of the shop 95% of your items. Yeah, that's where the fresh stuff is, yeah.
Make sure you use code Ethan at JockoFuel.com. All right, we got the goods. I'm happy with what I got. Already had a lot of the essentials at home. One of the JockoFuel.com.
Hold on.
All right, we got
So, there's nothing there.
the goods. I'm happy with what I got. Already had a lot of the essentials at home. One of the things I was waiting for the most on that fast was a bowl of Greek yogurt with some strawberries. Let me know what some of your favorite high-protein meals are. I'm excited to do some.
He's excited to do some cooking, folks. Yeah, they should be sending him cases of Jocko. Well, apparently, I've heard that Jocko Fuel has excessive amounts of lead in it, which makes it dangerous for consumption. I'm sure Ethan cares about that.
I had a really good day today. I want to tell you about it and unbox something special.
Okay.
After the great weigh-in today, I got some stuff done. Just got done at the gym.
Oh, where's the weigh-in? Let's have a look at the weigh-in. Here's the weigh-in.
This is going to be a crazy week. It's weekly weigh-in, baby. Last week, I was 437 pounds. I have been fasting for the past few days. As of right now, it's been about 88 hours since I've had any calories. So this weigh-in's
So he's fasted for 88 hours in total.
going to be a lot lower than last week. But that was on purpose, because I got rid of a lot of the water weight I was holding in my lower body. Let's see where we're at. pounds. That is the lowest I've been in a long time. 425.0 pounds. All right. So we're almost 12 pounds down from last week even. Obviously, that's not all fat, and I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people have concerns about the fasting stuff. I'm not going to be doing fasts this long often at all. This sucked, but I knew my body needed a reset. I feel good. I'm not trying to be mean, but for the people who say, oh, fasting is an eating disorder, fasting is unhealthy. You know what else is unhealthy? Weighing over 400 pounds. And I'm going to do what I have to do this year to reach my weight loss goals. And I 100% think that for me personally, fasting alongside all the other good habits I've been building is going to help me reach that goal at a...
He hasn't built any good habits. If he was building good habits, he would weigh a lot less right now, right? So 72 hours is the most you've gone. I just, if you, I know some people do fast, right? And they find it genuinely good for themselves. But if you have an eating disorder like Ethan has got, it's terrible for you. Because you're just going to go from restricting severely for 3 days, the rest of the week you're just going to absolutely go mad because you just have no self-control.
faster rate. So I appreciate y'all looking out for me. Make sure you guys follow so you can see my journey from 425 down to 399, 299, and beyond. Appreciate it.
Probably not. So his weigh-in is tomorrow, and he normally goes for like a Mementos kind of dealio. Chocolate is your bonge food. Yeah, that's fair. So where are we now? So he made this.
This entire pint of cookies and cream ice cream is 500 calories and 66 grams of protein. Let's make it. For the base, we're going to start out with 12 ounces of Fairlife fat-free milk. Our protein of choice today will be the Jocko Feel Cookies and Cream Milk. We're going to add 2 big scoops of this right to the milk. This much of it is also going to give it a really good texture. Then we got to shake it up, and then we're going to pour it right on into the creamy container. Just make sure you don't freeze that little shaker ball. And then we're going to freeze that base for at least 8 hours. And now that the base is frozen, we're going to put it in the creamy, and we're going to start out with 1 cycle on light ice cream.
I don't know, mate. I don't think I would buy a machine specifically for making ice cream, because that's just asking for trouble. If you're going to have a machine in your house that's dedicated to just one thing, it should be something like a rice cooker, a pasta cooker, a vegetable steamer when you're losing weight, not ice cream maker. I'm going to make so much ice cream.
Once that's done, we're going to take it out, and I'm going to use a butter knife to scrape down the edges of the container. You can see it's still stuck to the side. All right, once you've scraped down the sides, I'm going to use a spoon to make a gap right in the middle, and we're going to add 3 Oreo Thins as a mix-in. 1.
Why? It's already like it's already got cookies and cream flavored milk in it. Why do you need to add real Oreos?
2 and 3. I like to cover it up with the ice cream too. That way the mix-ins won't get all caught up in the blades at the top. And then we're going to put it right back on in, and we're going to run the mix-in setting. And just like that, whoo-hoo, look at that. Normally I would add xanthan gum to a creamy, but when you're using this much whey protein powder, that came out smooth. Look at the texture of that. And that's all it took to make it.
Yeah, you're going to be eating that whole bag, mate.
To make it.
Shut up. You're going to be eating that whole bag, Ethan, of Oreo Thins.
And that's...
Why do you need a whole pack? You've only added 3 Oreo Thins, right? So why do you need a whole pack of them? Why have you got Oreo Thins in the house anyway? Yeah, it's too much trouble. What on earth? And he's like 500 calories for a pint of it. So you're going to have the whole pint then, I guess. All right, Ethan. You're doing really well, mate. He's gone to Applebee's.
I went to Applebee's with friends today. Here's what I ordered to stay on track with my goals. At this point in the day, I had just over 1,100 calories left, and I had already
Don't do that, Ethan. You look really weird. You like Foodie Beauty doing that shit.
Had over 160 grams of protein. So I was looking for a nice meal, about 1,000 calories
That just made me like, oh, don't look at people like that, Ethan. No wonder you can't get a girlfriend.
or less, and I came across this salad that had almost 2,300 calories in it. The burgers looked really good. I actually wanted to get one, but this would have put me a little over for calories today, and I already know what the comments would have said. I saw this sirloin that came with shrimp and mashed potatoes for 900 calories. I almost got that, but then I found this chicken dish that was basically the same thing, but it was 100 calories less. Outside of protein shakes, I don't usually drink my calories, but I found this mocktail. It was only 100.
I thought you had the sugar-free lemonade that was 30 calories. So you're drinking your calories there. It's those little things that you kind of pick up on that says, yeah, you're a bit of a liar, aren't you, Ethan?
50 calories. It was actually super refreshing. I don't regret ordering this. I got that chicken dish with extra shrimp. This thing is literally sizzling. All of that for about 900 calories. That's not bad. It's been a long
Why does the mashed potato look like ice cream? He still has the same mindset, always looking for a loophole. Yeah, exactly. Just enjoy yourself when you go out for a meal, to be honest. If I think looking for like loopholes and stuff is definitely Ethan's MO. He's always trying to find some way to be a fat shit and make it look like he's thin and healthy. It's really bizarre. Just admit
times since
it.
I've been at Applebee's. I used to go really overboard here, but all of us enjoyed our meal. And between dinner and the drink, I got out of there for just
Yeah, it does look really greasy. I mean, is Applebee's a chain restaurant? I assume it is because I've heard Applebee's a few times in my life. So yeah, it's just that greasy shit after a 72-hour fast. I'd be sickums.
I was cutting it close tonight. Look at this. I was actually gone most of the day today. Danny and I ended up going to the gym at like 9:30. Got back home at 11. And I just walked 2.06 miles at a 3% incline, and it took me just under 50 minutes. And that's my step goal for the day.
23:46 is the time. 10,056 steps. It's really weird how somehow with less than 20 minutes to go until midnight, Ethan is like 10,002 steps, 10,005 steps. Piss off.
With 15 minutes to spare. I had counseling, we went shopping, we took a friend out to dinner, we got back, went to the gym, got home, got on the treadmill, and that's the goals for the day.
Okay, so you did all of that, but you still only managed to just hit 10,000 steps at quarter to midnight. Okay. You went to counseling, you went to the gym, you you went shopping, you met a friend for dinner, and you didn't manage to hit 10,000 steps doing all that. So you had to go on the treadmill at quarter to midnight in order to meet your goal. That's very suspect, I must say. It's chain, frozen, reheated food not worth the money or calories. Oh, okay. It looked extremely greasy and horrible. So they got Chef Mike working behind the scenes.
I feel good.
Is he counseling? No. He calls it counseling, but it's actually just somebody at his church that he speaks to every so often. So it's nothing that's like medically proven. It's just some churchy guy, you know. Father Derek going, yeah, well, I'll pray for you, Ethan. Don't worry. The thing is, he has all of this stuff behind him because he's sponsored by Jocko, who provide him with a nutritionist. They provide him with the Jocko fuel. He gets sent to boot camps to try and lose a bit of weight. And he still doesn't do anything. It's really bizarre. Honestly, though, I've seen the nutritionist that Ethan has, and like, not to be rude, but the nutritionist is obese, and I don't know whether you would want to trust an obese nutritionist. Um, yeah, it's very bizarre. Okay. Ethan wants to move out.
I have been making a lot of mistakes this week. I'm not going to beat around the bush about it. It's ridiculous. I feel like every time I flip a switch on this journey and start doing something right, another switch flips the wrong way. I feel like I'm in a lot better headspace right now, but I've been so stressed out dealing with some personal stuff offline that I haven't been sleeping good. I've been staying up really late. I've been eating when I'm not supposed to. I haven't gone on any sort of crazy binge or eaten 1 billion calories or anything like that. And I know it's normal to slip up. Everybody slips up, whatever. But I'm so sick of falling back into these same stupid mistakes that I've been making for a very long time. Especially at this point in my journey where I have such a good understanding of how stupid it is. And
This is coincidentally a day before his weigh-in that he's posted about this. So he's laying the groundwork. He's laying the groundwork for a gain here, I would say. I wouldn't be surprised if he gained back like half the weight that that he lost thanks to the 72-hour fast. How old is he? I think he's 25, 26, something like that. He's too intense, too earnest, like he's at the beginning again. Where's the thankless grind that long haul fitness becomes? Yeah, it does seem like he's always on day one, which I think probably is right because he seems to have lost and gained the same £100 a lot.
you know what the dumbest part of it all is? Is that I actually feel pretty good. Physically, my feet don't hurt as much. I've been having a good time at the gym. I actually started a new workout program with Joey this week that I'm feeling really good about. I don't know what else to say. I'm just trying to take ownership of this stuff because even though they've been small mistakes, I know the compounding effect of stuff like that is not good, particularly if it's left unchecked for too long. I'm getting near the point where I might hop on a GLP, but I'll tell you what,
Yeah, a heavier personal trainer is fine because, not all fitness journeys are associated with weight loss. They can be about bulking, they can just be about gaining strength. But you're not going to want to listen to an obese nutritionist because it is about eating healthy and eating in moderation. And if they can't do that themselves, then they don't really have any business trying to dictate it to others. Yeah, he's young. He's 26, 25, 26.
if I do that, it's not going to be because someone online told me to. It's going to be because I came to the conclusion that it's the right thing for me. I appreciate y'all. I hope you have a blessed day.
Have a blessed day. Somebody commented, you make this video every week. Ethan replies, okay, then stop watching if you don't want to see what I'm going through. Simple as that. All right, mate. Why would you hate on someone that's bettering themselves? Says a lot about you. Well, he's not bettering himself. He's relaying his bad habits to the world, and people seem to think that Ethan is some kind of demigod of weight loss when he's just a ginger guy who uses slimming filters. If the glasses are off, more than likely he's using slimming filters. Yeah, he presents himself as an expert when he's anything but, to be honest with you. Right, so there's a podcast with Ethan Suplee. Ethan Suplee. I will get the right button eventually. So yeah, this is Ethan Benard on losing weight in public, lifelong Ethan Suplee. Ethan Suplee, I believe, is an actor. He was in My Name is Earl, I think. That's all I know him from. He might be in films and that, but yeah, so we're going to have a listen to this podcast. It's probably going to be more of the same shite that he says about his fake wife and kids, but we'll see.
Where practical health meets real life and we work through our struggles together. I'm Ethan Suplee and I'm glad you're here. Our guest today is Ethan Benard, the incredible dude who's documenting his journey from nearly 660 pounds towards sustainable health. Before bringing Ethan in, I've been getting a lot of questions about using AI for
I think he's gaslighting himself, Jen, I would say. Boy Meets World, okay.
health and fitness. Let me say the boring but necessary part up front. I'm not a doctor, and nothing I say is valid medical advice. And also, by the way, AI is not a doctor. It's not a medical professional. It doesn't know your blood work, your injury history, or what your cardiologist said the last time you scared him. So none of this is medical advice, and none of it should replace real human expertise when you actually need it. That said, when it's used the right way, I think AI can be a genuinely useful tool, not a guru, not an authority, more like a fast, very patient assistant. It's good at the unglamorous stuff, helping you sketch out a meal plan, track calories, organize a week of workouts, suggest variations when you're bored, or give you a structure to follow when your own brain is tired of negotiating with itself. I've been using it myself for interface.
Well, we're going to see Ethan unfiltered here, ZZ. And it gets a lot worse than how he presents himself when he actually edits his videos.
Interval based cardio, specifically with the goal of improving my VO2 max. I'll ask it things like, what's a smart structure for this, or how often I should do it? How should I progress? It gave me a assistant, little cooking history. Ask it for that. Gave you telling lifelong to talk to you tonight.
Doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me.
It's not a coach. It's not your conscience, but it might be a pretty decent assistant. All right, Ethan Benard, welcome to Lifelong.
You like when I cover him? Oh, thank you. I'm trying to, like, I'm going to cover them, but outside of YouTube, that's it. I'm not going to give him any mind because that's where I go wrong because I'm trying to be too much of a fucking weight loss crusader because all of these pricks are lying, you know. Too many Ethans, I know.
How are you, dude?
I'm doing pretty good, man.
Wow. He's using slimming filters here. Doing so well, Ethan. Well done. Well done, you. Welcome in, Paolo. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming on. I'm proud of you every day. Every time I see your progress, I'm proud, and I'm so excited to talk to you tonight. The thing I wanted to talk to you more than anything about was, have you noticed any emotional or psychological effects, and what aspect have they played in your progress?
Yeah, that's deep. That's a deep question, man. For a while there, particularly last year, the scale was really messing with my head. You know, I would put like my whole self worth on that number, and that like anxiety almost of
He put his whole self-worth on it after a 3-day fast as well. This was before the fast, I believe. So yeah, I don't put my self-worth on the scale, but he did a 3-day fast, weighed himself after the 3-day fast, and then, we've got this whole manic phase where he's trying to get a girlfriend and move out of his house, all while gaining back the 15 pounds that he lost through the fast.
about what it was gonna say threw me for a loop for a long time. But I think like holy crap, man, like emotions and like the
Exactly,
thoughts
Debbie.
that you go through when you're on a journey like this are probably one of the hardest parts
Yeah.
because emotional decision making is how I got to 660 pounds. You know, like just feeding into my emotions and giving my flesh exactly what it wants is how I got to my heaven.
Fasting for 3 days was an emotional decision, I think. I don't think it was anything to do with any kind of logical thinking. He was like, right, I lied to my audience about doing 2,500 calories and 10,000 steps a day in January. I need to do a 3-day fast to get down to the weight I should have been if I was eating normally. That's not a logical response. That's just like a knee-jerk reaction.
So it's hard, but there's definitely been a lot of ups and downs. Like I've actually even with the progress that I've made, I've been like really going through
Yeah,
it
Jen.
mentally lately. You know,
What's been the thing mentally lately that's been giving you the biggest hiccup?
honestly, it's just the physical stress. The physical is literally affecting the mental. Like because I'm at a point like
The temptations of the flesh, Ray. And in Ethan's case, it's pints of protein ice cream.
I've gone from 660 down to 440, 430s, so I've lost over 200 pounds. But even with that weight loss, I'm still a 430-pound guy who's walking 10,000 steps and going to the gym and doing all this stuff that sucks at this size.
Yeah.
This stuff sucks at this size, man. And, I'm getting to a point.
So he does talk like he's at the beginning of his weight loss journey. And yeah, when you're a big person, going to the gym can be terrible. Going for long walks can take it out of you. But any person who's lost a lot of weight will tell you, you may not want to go to the gym, but when you've done your exercises at the gym and you're sat there cooling down, doing your stretches, and you've done like a good solid half hour, 45 minutes, strength training or cardio, whatever, you feel wonderful. afterwards because you've been productive, you've done something good for your body, you've done something good for your mental health. So for Ethan to say that all of this sucks is partially true, but he needs to, he needs to talk about the gratification that he would get after the exercise. And this tells me that he may not be doing any of the exercise to get that post gym gratification because he would be crowing about that gratification afterwards. I certainly do. I love it when I've done an hour at the gym and I relay that to you guys, to other people. I'm like, that was fantastic. I could do it all over again, but I know I need to rest. So the things just don't add up.
With like the blisters on my feet and the pain that I have from the hernia, and it's just all those little things that add up that just
Pain you have from the hernia, what, while you're doing the Romanian deadlifts, yeah? Because they would exacerbate a hernia. So why are you doing them when you have that? Probably doesn't help. You should probably be doing exercises that help your hernia or actually get the hernia seen to. Yeah, you do feel so much better. Exactly, exactly. It doesn't there's no habit forming here with Ethan. He seems to just flip and change all the time, which is why he goes from fasting to which is why he's in the binge restrict cycle. The fasting and the eating, the overeating. So and yeah, you should have worked yourself past that feeling shit going to the gym because you need the discipline to do that. And I don't think Ethan has the discipline in any parts of his life, really.
knowing that there's nothing I can do today to make it so I don't have to deal with that tomorrow is hard.
Okay, I'm going to ask you this and I'm going to present this to you. And I want to preface this with saying it is so counterintuitive. Have you thought about her? Has anybody talked to you about diet breaks?
No, I don't never even heard the term.
All right. Well,
Ethan doesn't need a diet break because he's always on one. I don't think he's ever on a diet start.
one of the things that utterly changed my life and my weight loss. First of all, you've lost 200 pounds. You didn't do a liquid diet and do it overnight. This wasn't months. You've been doing this for a long time. So,
Yeah.
so you're not trying, obviously, to get this done in the next couple of months. You're taking your time to a degree. Your endocrine system is building up fatigue as you lose weight. And a diet break, which I think is actually harder than weight loss, because for me, the motivation for putting any structure into the way I eat is always like, I'm going to see a reduction on the scale, so I can do this.
Yeah.
I can be tough because I get that reward. A diet break is tough because you're intentionally maintaining your weight. So
Oh
you're,
wow.
but
Ethan, Ethan Suplee, you're telling Ethan Benard this. He's not gonna take any of this on board, mate. You're just wasting your breath here.
what it does is it teaches you, because one day you're going to hit whatever your goal is. You're going to have to maintain that, and that is work. It gets easier, but that is work. So diet breaks, especially when you still have 100+ pounds to lose, right?
Oh yeah.
It teaches you, well, this is basically how I'm going to eat. And like my calories are a bit higher than they will be when I get to my final goal, but it's going to be a version of this life. And it also lets your entire system just get rid of all the stress and the fatigue. Now, it sucks because the first time I heard a diet break, I was like, great, so I'm just gaining weight.
Ethan listening to this, it's just nah, mate.
Right? Because that's what taking a break from a diet means. But it's not
Yeah.
that at
No,
all. It is
exactly not.
literally still just as much effort into diet, but you're working to maintain your weight.
Interesting.
Nobody's ever mentioned that before.
No. I've heard a lot of the theories of like, oh, well, eventually your body's going to get used to this amount of calories. I don't know if I buy that,
Right.
But no, I mean, like, I go through a lot of the comments. There's so much noise and so many people saying so many different things. It's kind of hard to pick and choose what you actually take.
Your body is going to get used to the calories. I don't understand why you think why. Okay, so um, I occasionally overeat, right, and I feel absolutely terrible. But it makes me think that I was actually used to eating a substantial amount every single day. Whereas now, if I have a very filling meal, that is going to be a very filling meal for a long time. Like yesterday, when I had the chicken, the rice, the vegetables, that filled me up for a long time. and I made the decision to not have anything big for dinner. I just had some cheese and toast, an apple, and a protein pudding, which is, nothing compared to like an actual meal. Does he have type 2 diabetes? I don't think so, Jen. Um, he doesn't really go to like get blood work done or anything like that, so he could have anything and wouldn't know about it. Some of some of his detractors seem to think he's got Klinefelter's syndrome, which would explain the kind of the feminine traits in his facial features, um, and may go some way to explaining why he wants to seem as masculine as possible, like being the alpha male provider for his fake wife and kids.
Of.
Yeah. There's a great book called Renaissance Diet 2.0, written by a guy
Yeah,
named
that's
Mike
no fine,
Israetel.
thanks, Debbie.
He goes over the basically science of diet breaks. Lane Norton talks about it in his book Fat Loss for Life. And then there's another guy named Michael Matthews, I believe Michael Matthews, who wrote a book called Bigger, Leaner, Stronger, and he talks about diet breaks too. I'm just saying, taking a couple of months and working on active maintenance
Morning, Miss T. Good to
could
see
help,
you.
because I think there's like, it compounds it, right? The physical stress your body's feeling. And I didn't even think I would talk to you about this, but like the physical stress your body's feeling, there's also psychological stress that's being built up. And you're
The problem with Ethan is that he wants to portray the idea that he wants to lose weight as fast as possible, hence doing the 72 hours of not eating a single calorie, we think. But he also wants to, at the end of his weight loss journey, when he goes into maintenance, he wants to have maintenance calories of 5,000, which is what he said, you know, in podcasts before. Not the fake wife and kids. Exactly. They don't even exist. Peggy Sue and little Jimmy, they don't exist yet. And we don't know if they ever will, considering how Ethan is a bit weird.
entire endocrine system, all your hormones are like stressed out,
Yeah.
like losing weight is very stressful on the body.
Oh, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
just
like that
something to think
last year,
about.
I feel like the whole year was just a freaking ball of stress.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's hard. Dieting's hard. And I don't know. I really, it's
True,
like
Debbie.
a shocking kind of thing to arrive at a number, and then you're just left with, now I have to maintain this forever, versus
Yeah.
practicing along the way, you
Yeah.
know?
Absolutely.
And you could do a diet break for 3 or 4 months. It could be, some guys like Dr. Mike Israetel recommends to do a diet break for as long as you've been dieting. I don't know if you want to do a multi-year diet break. I don't think that sounds really rough, but it's an interesting concept to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. I've never considered that. I think it would be really hard for me because, like, I'm not trying to get it off in a matter of months, like you said. But at the same time, I've been dealing with it for so long.
Not trying to get it off in a matter of months rather, but we'll do multiple day fasts in order to lose as much weight as possible in as little time as possible. Ethan, you need to make your mind up. He's so contradictory. What we see on the edited videos that he posts himself on social media is completely different to what we see in the podcasts where they're not edited by him. And it's really weird. There's so much disparity between the two Ethans that we see on the podcasts and on social media. And the people that view him on social media, they don't really watch the podcasts. If we look at the amount of views that this podcast has, it's 1K views in 2 weeks. Now, for somebody who claims that they've had 250 million views in the space of a year, this should be a much bigger number, don't you think? He has a fake family. So I'm being a bit facetious here, but he wants to lose weight for his wife and kids. Okay. The wife and kids don't exist. So he's doing this weight loss journey for figments of his imagination when really he should be doing this weight loss journey for himself. And I think personally, to do a weight loss journey for things that don't exist is stupid. To me, that could be different for other people. I don't know.
Like, I dropped 180 pounds last year.
I know.
You know, like I'm at a point where, like, even the nutritionist that I'm working with thinks I should be eating more than I am. Like, I'm at a point where I understand I'm probably not doing it necessarily.
So even with a nutritionist telling him to eat more, Ethan's like, Eat less. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Thank you so much, nutritionist. And the nutritionist like, no, that's not what I said. Bye, bye, bye. Okay. Ethan doesn't listen to anyone. He thinks he knows what's best. And that's why his body is so fucked up. That's why his mentals are so fucked up, because he doesn't understand what he needs to do, because he doesn't listen to anyone. He thinks he knows best when he's just a silly boy.
Necessarily the healthiest way I could be, but I also just want to get it off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I just want, like, I know I shouldn't be like rushing to the finish line or like rushing to get the surgeries or any of that, but I really just want to just get this. I have like another 100+ pounds before I get to even the point of like starting to discuss the skin removal. You know, like we talked about.
Skin removal will not be instant. You're going to need to maintain your body weight for a good year or two at the very least before you're even considered for weight loss surgery by a reputable surgeon. Now, knowing Ethan, he'll probably go to his church pastor, and the pastor will be like, yeah, I'll do it for you. It'd be like a bris, wouldn't it?
About that. That's not something to rush into. But I'm at a point right now where, with all the physical stuff, just from like the gym and the walking and everything, I just want to get it done. I just want to get through this.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
I
I
just want
know.
to get through. I want to get through this phase and get to a.
So he lost 180 pounds then before and gained it all back. He said a lot of different starting weights. He said 660, 624, 565. So it's hard to kind of gauge what it is with Ethan. Um, if he's going by his peak weight loss being from 660 to 425, then yeah, he's lost 230 odd pounds. Mike Israetel is questionable. I do not pay attention to Mike Israetel. I know he's meant to be a doctor, but even some doctors are questionable, so I don't really pay attention to what he says.
Point where, for the first time in my life, the physical effort doesn't equate to misery, or at
Yeah.
least as much as it is right now. You know?
No, yeah, I can remember waking up and having this desire to just unzip my body and step out of it. Like if
Yeah.
that was an option, I would have done it. You know, if somebody had said every penny in your bank account and you get to just rip the fat off in one fell swoop, I would have done it. I completely understand. I do think like and I think there's evidence too to support this, that the slower you go, the longer lasting the results, which are
Oh yeah.
ultimately, like, you could get there tomorrow, but like if somebody said you get there tomorrow and you have that for a week,
Ethan's like, oh yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to eat anything for a week. I'll see you then. All right, bye.
maybe not worth it, versus
Yeah.
knowing, it's another year of hard work and you get there.
Yeah,
Probably
and that
better.
was, I kind of bit myself in the butt last year a little bit. I'm not unhappy with the progress I made by any means, but the first 5 months of last year, Ethan, I went from 624 to 499 in 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, and I was doing some really unhealthy crap. Like I was literally starving myself. Like for the first month or two of last year, I was literally eating like 1,000 calories a day.
No good.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So why, if he's losing weight in an unhealthy manner, why is he doing the podcast rounds? And everybody's like, well done, Ethan. Fucking pomp and circumstance playing in the background. Da, 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 da. Oh, yeah. I'm Ethan Benard and I've lost 200 pounds. Oh, yeah. Why is he doing the podcast rounds as some kind of sacrificial goat of weight loss? He's like, there, like, meh, I lost 200 pounds, but I didn't do it in a healthy way. Can you please give me money and sponsorships? It doesn't make sense. Am I just going mad? Probably. But I don't think that Ethan doesn't deserve to be going on these podcasts talking about healthy ways to lose weight when he hasn't been losing weight in a healthy way. He's been losing it by questionable means. And that's what gets my goat.
Like, because at that point, I had gotten back up over 600 pounds for the fourth time.
Right.
Like we talked about that back and forth. So I was so sick of that cycle of like losing it and then gaining it back that I just wanted to get it off.
Yeah.
And now, I've been losing like 10 to 15 a month, which is by all means probably a really good rate for how big I am right now.
Yeah.
But it just feels so weird to go from like the scale flying down to just kind of like that slower couple pounds a week kind of thing.
Yeah. And it will, but also, by the way, Ethan, it will continue to slow even more, like that's just the nature of it. Your body will start to fight you more and more and go like, you've depleted the savings account of energy. I'm not giving up, I'm not giving up anymore. And it will get harder and harder. That's also why I think the diet break is something where you come back from it and suddenly it's like, oh, I'm fresh. I don't have all this fatigue. I don't have all this stress. Because like, but brother, I need to see you on Instagram every day. You know what I mean? I need that kickstart to my morning.
Yeah, dude. The social media stuff's been a blessing, man. Like last May when I started making those videos,
The only
I think you
person.
followed
Am I the only person that's like, when I see Ethan, I think, Jesus Christ. Am I just a horrible person? Is that what is that what that is? Because people talk on the podcast, they're like, Ethan, man, I love seeing you on Instagram. You're such a beacon of positivity, dude. When all it is like, I went and did a 72-hour fast. I ate 500 grams of ice cream. Weekly weigh-in time, baby. I don't understand. Yeah. And it's like, you're so positive. You're such a great influence on everyone. And you're so amazing. And Ethan's just sat there like, yeah, like, I'm really good actually.
me pretty quick, like
Yeah.
right near the beginning. But
I
I
don't
went
get
into it
it.
with the mindset of like, all right, if I'm gonna go through the physical crap, I think it's good to share it because if people see someone my size like getting off their ass, maybe they'll do something. But then I went into it with the mindset of like,
It
okay,
is a
once I
bit
reach my
weird.
goals, the before and after is gonna go viral, and then I'll get some views and some followers. But it just like freaking
Yeah.
blew up.
Yeah.
But dude, I've been posting multiple times a day, every single day. I have not missed a day since last May.
Do you think that kind of accountability is helpful?
It's a double-edged sword
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
true.
I've had a lot of support, which is incredible. It's probably actually one of the most positive places on the internet relatively.
Yeah.
Like it's actually wild because there's so much crap and so much negativity online nowadays.
Yeah.
So to see all the positivity is really good. But there's also, as well as I do, there's the inverse of that.
Do you know what? I've not seen any of that positivity from Ethan's audience. I've seen people with 1488 in their bios tell me to unalive myself. So yeah, I don't see the positivity in Ethan's audience. Um, yeah, the fact that people, when you detract against Ethan, they think you're jealous and you want his audience. But if you've seen Ethan's audience of people who are like lapping up all his content, you would not want that audience. They seem like horrible people. No offense.
There's the bad part of the internet and the nasty comments and stuff. And I think that did take a big toll on me mentally last year. And I'm sure the stress from that impacted my journey in one way or another. But I think with that being said and understanding that hindrance, the positive still heavily outweighs the negative.
Yeah. Like you have, even if you're not checking in with specific people, you are checking in. And
oh yeah,
don't you, that's got to play a part in it.
yeah. Like this month, like the Jocko team does like the discipline equals freedom reset at the beginning of every year. So like this month, January every year is def reset. So I told people like, hey, I'm gonna eat this many calories and I'm gonna walk this many steps every day in January. And I'm telling you, man,
And he failed.
with some of the mental stuff I've been
Yeah,
dealing with
much.
lately, I did not want to.
What
I
are the
haven't
calories
wanted
and
to.
steps?
So I've been doing 2,500 calories and 10,000 steps a day since the week before Christmas.
Wow. And at your weight, 2,500, that's got to be
It's a
so
big deficit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with my thing. So he didn't do that because he failed to do the last few days because of mementals. And also when he was announcing his end of day calories, he was over 2,500. So he didn't do any death reset. If anything, it fell on deaf ears. Yeah, exactly, Wednesday. It's always about the gym, it's always about doing steps and stuff like that. And they never show their full meals, they never show their full day of eating. It's always about the exercise. And that's where people think that, oh, if I just run 5K a day and eat the same, I'm going to lose weight. But that doesn't happen. 70% of weight loss happens in the kitchen.
Yeah, because I'm like, I'm like 6'5", so I'm 6'5", 430s. So my maintenance is well over 3,000, I'm sure.
My maintenance is well over 3,000 and I'm 6 foot even. And
Yeah.
I think, that's being generous.
So between that and the steps, I'm burning between 4,000 and 5,000 calories a day. I think if you round out last year, 180 pounds.
Okay, so if you're burning that many calories a day, then how come you only lost 3.8 pounds in a month? And you can't have the excuse of lymphedema, because even with lymphedema, you would still be losing a certain amount of weight because you're in a calorie deficit and you're moving more. Yeah, he wants to hang out with the bros. That's kind of his thing, yeah.
Is like half a pound a day, roughly.
Right.
So
That's
I don't know if
wild.
I'm losing that much fat still, but I know, like, either way you slice it, I'm in a very large deficit.
Yeah.
So I think
And
it's hard, but even on those days where I just really honestly did not want to do it, I've been getting it done.
yeah, it's amazing. The hernia, was that something you knew about?
It just kind of happened. It was really weird. Like back in 2020 is when I first noticed it, and it wasn't until the hospitalization that we discussed and where I actually found out what it was.
So he's had his hernia for 6 years, okay? He's had his hernia for 6 years and he's not done anything about it. And yet he continues to do Romanian deadlifts. He's so smart, guys. He's like a boy genius.
Like, I didn't even know what a hernia was.
Right.
Like, I was a 20-year-old guy who played video games for a living. I don't know what a freaking hernia is. So no.
How do you not know what a hernia is? No. Oh, Ethan, you're so fucking stupid. Not knowing what a hernia is at 20 years old, you're making it sound like it's a flex when it isn't. And if you've got something wrong with you, you should know what it is, mate. You should be doing your utmost to get it fixed to make sure that the hernia doesn't kill you, because that's what might happen if you continue doing your deadlifting with a massive bulge the size of Mark Wahlberg's penis.
Oh, they diagnosed it as an umbilical hernia, and I was like, all right, I don't know what to do. It's been there. It's wild. If you look at the photo of me at my heaviest with my shirt off, you can't even see it.
Wow.
It was there. It
Yeah.
was there. That was 2022 when I was at 660. So it was there. It had been there for a couple of years, but you can't even see it. And now it looks like physically, it's like the size of a grapefruit, and it's just like kind of sticking out of my stomach. It's actually protrudes further than my belly at this point, which is weird.
And you're lifting.
Okay, so you're on a podcast laughing about it rather than getting something done. Priorities. Welcome in, LaFay. Good to see you.
Weights and stuff. Does it affect that?
Nah, that I can tell at all. Like, I've never experienced any discomfort or pain in the hernia at the gym that I haven't experienced at home.
And the doctors haven't said like you can't do that. You have to chill out with that stuff.
Some of them have like kind of notion towards that, but it's like, I try not to be too much of a sarcastic asshole, but at the same time, it's like, hey, you know what else is unhealthy?
Right.
Being super fat and weak. Yeah. That's unhealthy. So
do you know what's also unhealthy? Shouting into a microphone, you silly ass. Yeah, it's Willy. Marky Mark's Willy.
I don't care. I'm going to the gym. Like, I don't, maybe going for like the deadlift PRs and stuff isn't smart. Maybe doing the super heavy lifts that I've done a couple times isn't the smartest idea.
Yeah, that isn't smart, Ethan, you silly bastard. Do you know, things aren't mutually exclusive in terms of like health and that. It's just, you have a hernia, you need to get the hernia fixed. There are doctors that specialize in bariatric hernias. So you could easily get it done, Ethan. I don't see what the issue is, unless you can't afford to get it done, because I know Murica. Good morning, Hells. Welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're okay. Why are people listening to him? I don't know, Miss T. That's what gets me. What's going on? Why has Ethan Suplee got Etienne Bernard on his podcast talking about sustainable weight loss when Ethan fasts himself? Oh. He fasts, he eats pints of ice cream with Oreos in. He doesn't show everything that he eats. He eats lead-lined protein milkshakes. It's about as sustainable as an oil spill. Let's face it. Ethan has the emotional depth of a teaspoon. I wouldn't even give him that much credit.
Yeah, but like, dude, I was pushing like 15-pound dumbbells at the gym today, and I'm not doing anything that's gonna like cause me injury or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay, this is a question that I wouldn't.
How do you know? 15 pounds could rupture your hernia. You don't know. That could be the thing that tips it over the edge. Do you know what I mean? It does seem like medical misinformation. You're right. Any amount of weight could trigger that hernia, right? You need to be really careful, especially if you're doing this 15 times multiplied by 3. Yeah? Exactly, Hells. He could get that done easily, but he chooses not to because it might be like, oh, I've got this bulge here and it's the size of a grapefruit. It could be what you think, but it's not.
Necessarily ask, but I know people are curious. What is your routine? Do you, and just because I think I personally believe that everybody is individual and this stuff gets so nitpicky, but like, do you take creatine? Do you use pre-workouts? Do you like whey protein? What kind of food do you prefer? You said you're eating roughly 2,500
Yeah.
calories a day. Are you paying attention to macro? Like, what is
Oh,
your
yeah.
diet scheme?
Oh, yeah. So I do 2,500 calories and in between 200 and 250 grams of protein every single day.
Nice.
So I aim for 250, but I got to the point where, 250 grams of protein at 2,500 calories is 40% protein. So I would have to literally, 40% of everything I eat would have.
Why are you talking into your mic like that? Just talk normally. This isn't Gen Z brain rot 6767. Just talk like a normal human being on a podcast, Ethan. Jesus.
It's like egg
protein.
whites. All
So I
egg
got
whites.
to a point where I was eating like a pound and a half of chicken a day. And I was like, all right, this it works, but I talked with the guy, my nutritionist, and he's like, all right, let's set a range. Minimum
Okay,
200.
but do you count the protein in veggies? This is something I changed at one point. I was getting so fatigued by the amount of chicken or tilapia or egg whites that I was eating, and somebody was like, "Well, you got to count the broccoli too. That has protein." And I was like, "But it's not a complete protein." And he said, "No, but if you're way deep into the range of 200 plus grams a day, and the majority of it is from animal sources, then you can also count the veggies too."
If
You got mine from being a size 4 my entire life, then up to 332. You got almost all of it off. Well done. That's amazing. You did pretty well.
it's in the macros of what I calculate it. I don't like go, oh, this protein came from vegetables, so I'm not going to count it. I just look at the bars, dude. The bars fill up.
Yeah.
So we set a range of like minimum 200 grams, aiming for 250, and I've landed around 220 to 240 most days.
Amazing.
So I'm not hitting that 250 every day, but I'm also not like just shoving my face with chicken nonstop every day.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but what are you eating, Ethan? You didn't actually say. Ethan Suplee asked you, what do you eat in a day? And you've gone, well, I used to eat 1 million chickens a day and 25,000 eggs. It's shouting to the mic 6767. Like, what did you actually eat, Ethan? Because you haven't mentioned that. Is it because you're still trying to, rift by not telling us what you actually eat? Because you don't show us what you eat normally. You don't show us what you eat on your social media. So why change?
That would be impossible for years on end.
The whey protein I use a lot.
Yeah.
Because like, dude, I'll do this thing like almost every day when the first thing I eat after. I don't usually start eating until afternoon. I don't know why. I don't necessarily intermittent fast. I was doing that for a while. But the first thing I do every day is I mix a
I think that's because you don't get up until the afternoon, Ethan. That's probably why you don't start eating until the afternoon. Just a wild guess.
protein shake with some cold brew.
Nice.
Because whey protein is a complete protein. So
Yeah.
you pour a whey protein shake into a cup with like 8 to 12 ounces of cold brew. It makes a 20-ounce iced coffee that is like 190 calories and 30 grams of protein.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer for me. Like that was one of my biggest. That was some of the most.
So he starts off his day with a protein coffee that's like 200 calories. And then, do you remember on TikTok, he said, I don't drink my calories. Low BMI voice. I don't drink my calories because I'm a good boy. And yet he's here like, yeah, I have an iced coffee every morning, 200 calorie, 30 gram protein day.
Fat man shit I've ever done is the amount of frozen coffees I used to drink. Like, we're talking like those, 800 calorie Starbucks Frappuccinos, frozen crap. Like that's the stuff I used to get one of those every time I drove past one.
That's amazing. Right. And do you like creatine?
I stopped taking it because of the water retention.
Okay.
So that's something that's just like, my relationship with the scale has improved a lot. Like I said, like I've had fluctuations. I've been weighing in almost every day, so I see fluctuations a lot, and I've come to terms with that. But still,
Then why do you go onto social media after you've gained 7 pounds and be like, I gained 7 pounds, but it's okay because it's not fat? Well, how did you gain that 7 pounds in the first place? You must have eaten like a fat shit the day before. He's an unreliable narrator. Yeah, exactly. Definitely.
really, really don't want the scale to go up. So I know the creatine would probably help. But just honestly, just for the psychological of not having to see the scale go up, I haven't gone on it because I know it takes a while to like get yourself fully into it once you start taking it.
Yeah. And it's not water retention that you can feel. It's just seeing
Yeah.
it on the scale. Right. Because that water would be in your muscles. It would be
Yep.
intramuscular water, not
So
like
I
bloat
should
from
just kind of come to terms with it and do it. But I would also be like, I would be just really frustrated.
I mean, you could go like, I'm going to take a 2-week break from the scale,
Yeah.
load up on.
I don't believe him either, Jen. He does weigh himself every day. This was the bone of contention that I had when I quote tweeted him saying, "You don't gain 7 pounds overnight by eating 2,500 calories and doing 2,500 steps." Okay. And that's when his followers all came after me. And I'm trying to learn my lesson. This is why I said at the beginning of the stream, I'm not going to be a caped crusader anymore on social media. Just going to stick to my YouTube channel where I'm just going to talk like this about people and they can do whatever the fuck they want. And then people can come here and see for themselves. I'm still getting comments on Taylor Sauer's video saying, I thought he was a really nice guy. I watched this live stream and it turns out you were right. And I've had people comment about Becky Jones saying I was right. So, you know what? I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to do my YouTubes. I'm just going to talk about these people. And people can come to me dripping in and I'll say I was right. Am I going to be smug about it? A little bit. But, you know, they'll all see it in the end. I just don't need to force it.
Creatine, and then you would at the rate that you're losing weight, you would see a loss anyway, but it probably wouldn't be as big a loss as you would see if you hadn't been taking creatine.
No, that's a good point because creatine is like very super well researched, right? Like it's like one of the most researched like supplements in this whole industry.
Yeah, I think I've heard that it's the most.
I'm on creatine. I've noticed no difference. That might have been why I only lost a pound last week, but I also did, I also did have a bad episode last Monday. So Becky seems to be losing. She's lost all the weight, probably through gastric surgery, and she's doing a lot of exercise now. There's nothing really much I can say about that. She's done it, and that's yeah, it's just how it is. I mean, there's nothing really to say about Becky anymore. You're English, you're allowed to, so exactly, Mr. T. Exactly. I was shocked at my success because I don't see it in the mirror now that I've established an eating schedule. I figure where to cut. Right. Yeah, sometimes the success sneaks up on you and you just all of a sudden just clicks.
Research, but I checked with our good friend ChatGPT once about that, and ChatGPT said that many vitamins are like, people have done a lot of research on vitamin C. Nothing is as decidedly effective as creatine.
Yeah. No, that would probably help. Because
Yeah.
another thing I struggle with, I don't know how much gym stuff you did during your journey, but like for me, dude, like my upper body is so weak for my
Really?
size. Like I bench 125. I weigh 440 and I bench 125. That sounds stupid. Like when you hear it, like that sounds.
Who cares? Just go at your own pace. Why are you making it sound like you're a puny little weakling? Or maybe because you are, but it's fine. Just go at your own pace. Don't compare yourself to other people. Gymster. Just a bit of gymster. Yeah, she did well, Becky. She's lost the weight. She's doing like normal hauls of normal clothes. She's healthy eating. She's showing her gym stuff. She's doing really well. And, for all her faults previously, there's not really much you can say about that. So, Becky's doing just fine. Oh, thank you, LaFay. I appreciate that. That's very kind.
Sounds ridiculous, but that's just where I'm at right now.
Yeah. I lost 150 pounds. And my wife at the time she's still my wife, but she said, it's time to go to the gym. And I was like, the gym is for fit people. I'm not going to the gym because I was still 400 pounds. And she went out and bought me a package unbeknownst to me with a trainer. And this was in 2004.
Okay.
And said, like, if you don't go to the gym now, you're just flushing this money. There's no refunds. So you're just flushing this money down. And so that got me to the gym. And I just like lifting weights. Lifting weights was fun. I did not like cardio back then. I like cardio now. I did not like cardio at all back then. But so for the second half, and then, but by the way, I regained all that weight at least twice and kept working out. I kept lifting weights.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So when you were going through those phases of gaining it back, you still went to the gym?
Yeah. I still lifted weights. I just enjoyed lifting weights, but I would go and be like, I can't do this diet anymore. And I would go off the diet. And even sometimes I would have these like really, what I think of now as kind of bizarre ideas about food. Like I was super into grain brain for a while and believed that, gluten was poisonous to all human beings. And so I couldn't eat gluten. And that was the only
exactly.
intervention. The only intervention on my diet was I don't eat gluten,
Yeah,
but
the
I would
gym
eat a
is for
gluten-free
everyone.
pizza and gluten-free
Yeah.
chicken.
I don't know what's going on with my computer today. Sorry. Um, the gym is for everyone. In the UK, I would say that there's not much of that kind of Joey Swole kind of stuff that you see online. Everybody's very nice and polite to each other. I think there's only like one person at the gym that looks at me like I'm a piece of shit, which is kind of weird. But everybody else is really nice. I think that person is just horrible in general because nobody likes them. So
Wings, and I gained a bunch of weight, and I kept going to the gym, and I scratched
made
my head like, why
complaints.
am I gaining weight? I'm not eating gluten.
Yeah. I've gone through a couple of phases of like trying out the fad diets and stuff, but it's actually kind of frustrating once you realize that it is just calories.
Right.
Like once you get to that point, it's kind of like, man, none of this matters. You just got to track.
Well, it's tough because the solution being like just don't eat sugar seems like a hell of a lot easier solution than
There is
like
always one,
focusing
yeah.
on every single thing you put in your mouth. Like that's a much more difficult scenario than just not eating sugar. Just not eating sugar is pretty easy.
Yeah.
Even if you have a sweet tooth, you can
I'm a
find a way
savory
around
guy,
it.
dude.
Me too. Yeah.
So nachos did a lot more damage to me than something like ice cream ever has.
Have you tried any kind of low cal nachos with like a Quest chip or a
Okay, that's interesting. Nachos have done more damage to him than ice cream ever has. He went on the shopping trip and he didn't pick up the nachos. But he did make 500 calories of protein ice cream. So he's under the impression that one thing is good, one thing is bad. So he didn't pick up the chips, but he made a whole pint of ice cream. And he thinks, well, if I just pop a couple of Oreos into it, it won't be so bad. It's very interesting when you see his social media stuff and then, yeah, and then you see this stuff. Yeah, exactly, the faith. Like, loads of people just gain and lose weight all the time. It's just one of life's things. And yeah, at least he's honest about it, unlike Ethan. You've never had anybody, yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's just that particular person. They just get everybody's goat.
legendary chip and fat-free cheese or anything like that?
When I was doing keto, I used the Quest chips for nachos, because
Yeah.
but no, dude, it's been like a freaking year since I've made a pan of nachos.
Right.
Which is wild because that used to be like my go-to, like that was some of like my deepest fat man hours. Like 1 a.m. pouring half a bag of tortilla chips onto a piece of parchment and loading it with cheese.
Yeah.
That was just like some of the fat man shit I used to do,
Yeah.
But no, like dude, nachos, like I'm sure if I really wanted to, I could take a day and fit a pan into my macros. But even with like the lower fat cheese and stuff, like the chips are just awful.
Yeah, they're not
ridiculous.
great. They're not great.
It is ridiculous. They're like the tortilla chips I like. They're like 14 calories a chip.
14 calories a chip.
Yeah, it's like 10 chips is 140 calories. I'm like that is disgusting.
Yeah.
Knowing how many of those I used to pour onto a pan, you know what I mean?
Totally.
Like that is ridiculous. No, listen, I don't mind the protein chips, but they don't make a good nacho. If I was gonna make nachos, you just got to use the real thing.
That's right. All right,
Just give me 1 sec.
Ethan, I want to get your opinion on this week's clip with Terry Crews and Camille Foster on not caring what everybody else thinks. Trace, will you play that for us?
But that only happens when you're moving forward, when you're trying things, when you're experimenting. Although I remember when I first got to LA, I always looked at what successful people did. And one thing I noticed is that they were unembarrassable. And I watched them ascend. Like, wow, if you can do improv and just jump up there and bomb and not care. I said, now you can learn. Now you'll just get better. And for me, I realized that that's what I needed to do in almost every aspect of my life. Like, go for it, try it, bomb.
Yeah, you're right.
It was difficult because in the really super masculine world, you never want to appear like you failed.
Right.
Where it's here I am, I looked like this person who's supposed to have it all together. And I didn't. I remember just feeling like, I have to not care what anybody else thinks. And that's a hard spot. I mean, because you're alone. But I also realized that that was the only way I was going to learn anything. Start at the bottom. Be humble.
Yeah.
What do you think of that, Ethan?
Yeah.
I always feel very
Yeah.
envious of people who don't care or who have a lot of confidence. And I will say that about fat guys. When I was a young actor, the fat guys like Chris Farley seemed to just like have no.
Yeah, it's bizarre, Jen. Like, I mean, I do have a lot of protein myself, so you know, it's not like I'm not immune to that. Um, it's difficult because there's so much misinformation on social media that there's kind of it takes a lot to find the right information, which I guess like a lot of people fall prey to the misinformation that's out there. Thank you, LaFay. I appreciate that. I tried my best.
No inhibitions whatsoever. Now, I have no idea what was going on inside of his head. He could have felt a lot of tortured pain, but like also Jack Black, there were big dudes who just seemed so extroverted. And I was envious of that. And I find even today, I'm envious of super confident people.
Yeah. No, I get that, man. Like the thing is, it's like when I was back in my Twitch days, I was super thick skinned. Like you got to realize, my original TikTok page with the gaming stuff grew because of the amount of fat comments.
Really?
Like there were so many fat comments on those gaming videos that it literally grew the page because every video had like hundreds.
Then why was he surprised when he lost all his viewers on Twitch if that's all his comments were? It just seems like he's built this imaginary world where he thinks he's this social media megastar when really people are just going for like the fat person kind of stuff, you know? A lot of people who are overly confident shouldn't be. There is that. Like Ethan, I guess.
Of freaking comments on it. It was ridiculous. I took advantage of it and I didn't give a crap. You know, I was just having a good time. It is so much different now in the weight loss space for me because, like, I understand that you shouldn't take heed of like the opinions of people that you don't love and respect, right? But at the same time, like, I do care what people think. You know, I think I'm human. So when people talk shit and stuff like that stuff, as resilient as I try to be, it still hurts sometimes. You know, and I think
He is very sensitive on social media. If somebody says something wrong in his eyes, then he will go for them, he'll quote tweet them, and then he'll be like, that will set his followers on them, as I said before. So he knows what he's doing. He will put somebody up and he'll say, right, I said this to him, now you guys can go get him. And literally, for hours on end, people would just, you know, dick on me and just be horrible people. And that's just the audience that Ethan has. And unfortunately, they don't follow him to his podcast circuit.
a part of that for me with the whole like because I think confidence plays a big part in being able to like not care what people think. But a big part of that for me is that I think a lot more of that will come once the goal has been reached, right? Because like right now I'm trying to attain something. That's basically what my journey is, right? Like
Ethan and Rosie on the same podcast, who would be able to get a word in edgeways? They would just be talking over to each other like, yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Yeah, I'm not going to talk about it either.
I'm just working my ass off trying to attain something. And until I've actually attained it and said and done what I've told everyone I said I was going to do, I don't know if I'm mentally capable of just not caring.
Right.
I think once I get there, you know, like if I get this weight off and I start that family that I've talked about countless times, I'll feel on top of the world, man. Like I don't think there's a word that someone could say to me that would upset me in that scenario. But right now,
he thinks that God is literally going to plop a girlfriend out of the sky for him. It's not going to work like that. You have to work on finding somebody. Oh, I just don't understand this whole idea of the imaginary wife and kids, and he's doing it for them. And when he loses the weight, all of a sudden he's going to be really confident, and he's going to be an alpha male, and he's going to be absolutely wonderful, and he's going to have his own production company and stuff like that. It's great to have lofty goals, but when you're on a weight loss journey, when you're trying to lose weight, you should be doing it for the primary person, which is yourself. Okay? You have to do this for yourself because you're not. If you do it for somebody else, like if you try and lose weight because you want to look good for somebody you fancy, it's never going to work out. They just won't see it that way. So this imaginary wife and kids stuff is just in my opinion, it's childish. I don't know what you guys think, but in my opinion, it's just childish stuff. And he needs to buck his ideas up and lose the weight for his own health, lose the weight for himself, lose the weight so he can do things that he's never been able to do before. And that will mean so much more to real women who will find that newfound confidence attractive. Ethan just comes across as like somebody who's perpetually, it's like arrested development kind of stuff. He seems to perpetually be like a teenager. He
Now,
does need to
still
change
having this far
himself.
to go and still being like the fat guy who needs to lose the weight, not the guy who's lost it. I almost, I don't know. Maybe I'm using it as an excuse to be vulnerable, but it just feels like I just don't have that mental capacity to just block it all out right now.
Well, I just want to say I felt the same way as you. I really did believe that I'd hit a number on the scale and feel
I
differently.
don't know, Debbie.
Like how,
Maybe.
like it would be manifestation from the outside in, and it would be this kind of state I'd achieved, and that never came.
Wow.
Like I still look in the mirror and have to like find nice things to say about myself. I still look at Instagram, and I agree, Instagram is the nicest of the social medias. Like generally a very caring place, and I'll get 100 very nice comments and one mean one, and I just think about the mean one.
Yep.
But it just sticks with me. Whether it's belittling my efforts or saying, "Why do you post?"
They're all insufferable, but yeah, I agree that Ethan is. I would say that Ethan's a little bit more insufferable than Rosie. I haven't seen Rosie's recent streams. We should be looking at those at some point soon. But yeah, like Ethan and Rosie are a match made in heaven, but I don't think even Rosie would go for somebody like Ethan, to be fair.
This, nobody gives a shit. Like, this is a
Yep.
waste of time. Or even saying like, you're a liar, you had gastric bypass surgery, and then I just want to like fight them and go like, what are you talking about? I didn't do that. Like, how do I prove a negative to you? But I at one point this was in 2011, to a doctor, Dr. Huizenga, who was the doctor on The Biggest Loser, because I wanted him to tell me what weight I should be. What was that? Was that a demon from the ether? I wanted this.
Not know.
Yeah, that was crazy. I wanted this doctor to tell me what weight should be, because I didn't know exactly what weight I should be. And I also was like, when am I going to feel better about myself? So I go and I see him. He puts me through a DEXA scan and he's like, dude, you're 14% body fat. You're done. You don't need to lose any more weight. And I was like, no, you're wrong, because I don't feel any different.
Yeah.
So I think like that.
I will agree there. Like, I've lost a substantial amount of weight, and I've gone from like 50% plus body fat to under 40% plus body fat. And, I've lost over 150 pounds in total now, because I put some back on, obviously. Welcome in, Capone. Good to see you. Yeah, I do feel different in some ways, but I still don't have like a tremendous amount of confidence or anything like that. So yeah, I get where he's coming from, because sometimes like maybe further down the line when I lose more weight, it's going to be slightly different. But yeah, I feel more confident than how I used to, but it's nowhere near how I could be. Thank you, Capone.
That's something I have to work on every day. And I see you putting yourself out there and being vulnerable in a way that I'm even envious of you. Like, look at how confident that guy is. And he's still in it. He's still fighting.
Well, it's hard too, right? Because like the vulnerability stuff, like we talked about, like it is a double-edged sword for sure. Because I think showing the low points and showing anything bad that happens, or when I'm feeling like shit or whatever, I talk about it, right? But showing your mistakes and showing like being vulnerable and like it's almost like kind of lowering your shield.
Yeah.
Right? Because you are showing people what's real, which I know impacts more people, which is why I do it. But then you're also giving, I use the term the enemy, you know what I mean? You're giving the enemy ammo to use against you.
Right.
People will try to use your own vulnerabilities against you, even though you're the one who put them out there.
Yeah.
And that, like you said, I'll get like 100 nice comments, and then there will be like 3 bad ones. And then I'll be like, oh,
Right.
Like,
your attention
it's ridiculous, man.
They have barbs. They stick into your mind, and it's hard to get them out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of stuff that I work on that every day as much as anything else. And I
Fresh
encourage.
Stars, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's lovely. No, not Nikki. Rosie's got a new man, and she's flying out to see him apparently.
Anyone going through it to try to find that as best they can, or to work on it as fast as they can, because I think that the more we can say, like, I am determined to do what I'm going to do, and your ideas will not impact me. I think that that's the best off we can be. Everybody's got their own ideas of what is correct and what we should be doing. And it's like, this is between me and my higher power. This has nothing to do with you. I'm sharing it with you. If it can be of service to you, I'm happy. If not, but if you have something negative to say, I gotta find a way to like ignore it.
Yeah, I've been trying to spend less time in the comments overall.
Yeah.
Even though like mine, a lot of them are positive. Like I know I'm very blessed in that aspect, but it's still like you said, like my mind works the same way. My mind will latch on to the bad stuff, and it's better for me just to not read it.
Yeah.
Right? Like the confidence stuff is really interesting because I've always told people like I am incredibly proud almost of like who I am and my convictions and beliefs. Like I'm very confident in who I am, but I've never had any confidence.
No one's reacting to you on the channel negatively. Well, there are people out there that react to me negatively. They try and comment on my stuff, and they try and make me seem like the food I make's terrible, the weight loss is fake, stuff like that. And it all comes from a place of malice, no actual like solid evidence that that's the case, because that's the thing. I'm too open and honest about my weight loss. I post what I eat every day. I post about my troubles with binge eating. I post my exercise. And when you're transparent, and there are tons of other influencers out there that are transparent as well, it's hard to say negative stuff. You just have to say the negative stuff out of like personal hatred. Um, and there's not really much you can say about me, to be honest. Just because I may, say things about other people that you don't like, it's not my problem.
My body. I've always hated my body. So I'm just trying to like get to the point physically where I don't think I'll ever match my physical confidence to my mental, but that's the goal, right? Like that's the goalpost.
Yeah. It's a worthwhile goalpost. I think it's an ever elusive goalpost. I think it's something that guys like you and I will be working, we'll be chasing it for a while.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you find that exercise?
Well done, LaFay. 40 pounds down is amazing. Yeah, you've got to understand that your mind does play tricks on you. Like sometimes I still see myself as the OG 500-pound guy. But I can fit into like regular clothes off the rack now, and that's like the most important thing. Yeah, personal hatred and projecting are common. Yeah, like people have been saying stuff about me, I just block them because there's no point. They're not going to change. So might as well just block the fuck out of them.
Because you do a lot of exercise. Do you find that is as important a component as your diet?
Definitely not. Like just in general, like diet is the majority of weight loss. However, the bigger you are, the more walking specifically helps. I'm not going to say to the gym. I have no freaking damn idea how many calories I burn at the gym. I don't care. I don't go there to burn calories. I get on my stupid treadmill to burn calories, which sucks, by the way. Getting on a treadmill and walking on an incline for 2 hours as a 400-plus pound guy sucks. Oh, you're Ethan. You're only going 2.5 miles per hour. I don't care. It sucks.
My God. By the way, I remember one of the very few Instagram.
Okay, so you're going on the treadmill to burn calories. Is that why you purport to tell us that you're on there for an hour at a 3% incline? Honestly, you shouldn't be making the calories that you burn exercising the priority, because it's just not a lot. Because when you have like a bag of crisps, right? Sometimes you'll need to do like a 5K to burn off that bag of crisps, when in actual fact it's easier to just be in a calorie deficit, be in a 500 to 1000 calorie deficit every day, and then the weight will come off. You'll lose 1 to 2 pounds a week, and perhaps if you do enough exercise, you'll lose an extra pound or two a week. Yeah, Sal is incredibly humble. I love Sal. He's great. Yeah, exactly the phase. It's just how some people are. The thing is, like, well, the one person who's been doing it recently, I commented on a feeder, their page, and I said that their thigh looked like flaps, and then they called me a misogynist because somebody who doesn't take care of their body, I'm not allowed to have an opinion on it. and then this person had quote tweets making fun of an obese police officer. Okay, makes sense. You get the feeling he only exercises in order to eat more junk. That's probably true, yeah. You automatically reach for your old size clothes when shopping. Well, they wouldn't even be like on the rack, but yeah, I would go for the biggest size, yeah. Like if I go into yours clothing, for example, I will look at the 5-6 XL t-shirts when actually I can fit in the 1 to 2 XL pretty well. Paolo, thank you so much for the gifted membership. I appreciate that so, so much. Thank you. Everybody's been very kind for me coming back to streaming. I appreciate that. Yeah, he doesn't go to the gym to burn calories. He's just there to, um, yeah. It's so he's lost over 200 pounds, Sal. He was 725 and now he's about 525, 520, something like that. So we can have a little bit of a look at Sal after this podcast is done. We'll end with a bit of positivity. Yeah, we can do that on these streams now. We can go through all the bullshit at the start, and then in the end, we can do a little bit of positive stuff.
Fights I've ever had was on your page where you were talking about like it's going to be really hot. This was probably over a year ago. It's going to be really hot. Should I get a treadmill or should I go to the gym and walk inside or should I stay outside? And I was like, I said something like, it doesn't matter, just walk. And some guy was like, you're absolutely wrong. It does matter. You'll burn more calories outside in the heat. And I was like, the guy's almost 500 pounds. It does not matter. This was a long time ago.
I bought the treadmill specifically just so I wouldn't have an excuse not to get the steps in.
Right.
Because like, dude, if I walked outside right now, I'd eat shit. There's ice on the ground, it's like negative 5-degree wind chills, you know? But yeah, dude, that treadmill, that incline steps, I'm sure for someone who's like 300 pounds, that still sucks.
Yeah.
But, I know like I said, going back to the exercise thing, the bigger you are, the more calories you burn when you're like walking and doing cardio. So like, I don't know how many calories the treadmill burns, but if that estimate is anywhere near correct, it's a big chunk of calories that I'm adding to that burn every single day. Just by.
And he's like, well, I can have another bag of chips with that. I can have another pound of ice cream with that.
Spending a couple hours on that thing.
And when you're sore, when you've got blisters, when you're fatigued, what is getting you to get up and do it day after day?
Honestly, this month, it's just the fact that I told people I was gonna. So that's the good part of the accountability. Like if I hadn't committed to the 10,000 steps a day in January, brother, there's a couple days this month where I wouldn't have gotten out of bed.
Yeah,
like it's rough, dude. Between the, the mental stuff, I don't know if it's depression or not, but between that and like the weather outside and the fatigue, I do not want to do it. Like that's the thing. Like I kind of enjoy lifting weights and stuff.
Yeah.
Cardio specifically. I don't know if I'll ever like that.
Yeah.
Even when I'm like at my goal weight, I don't know if I'll ever enjoy walking a couple miles.
Yeah.
That's not me. I don't enjoy that. I'd rather play a video game, dude.
Right.
Welcome in,
Have you ever thought about getting one of those like little pedal machines that sit on the floor so you can pedal while you're playing video games or anything like that?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's pretty cool.
Not a bad idea.
Because you could sit in your own chair for something like that, right? So you wouldn't have to worry about like a weight limit.
I believe they're just.
It is really weird, Debbie. It's I don't understand what's going on with Ethan saying that. What does he go to the gym for then? Sending hugs. Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate that. Glad your streams are going well with the old Rosie stuff. She's a bit loop-de-loop at the moment with her boyfriend.
Small little contraptions that go on the floor in front of you and you just pedal. Like you could sit on a couch and do it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because I never thought about that. Because I to be fair, I don't play this. Like I said, I'm not at this desk like ever. I haven't been on like Steam on my computer in like 3 months, so I don't play games nearly as much as I used to. But like in terms of like exercise bikes, honestly, even treadmills, it was just something that I was like, oh well, I'll have to wait until I get to X amount of weight before I can use that. Like last month, I spent a bunch of money on a treadmill that had a higher weight capacity, and it was it's worth the investment. But I had to lose 200 pounds to be able to fit on the one that had like the highest capacity I could find.
So he didn't want to pay out the extra money. He didn't want to pay out the extra money for a treadmill that would hold his weight. He went for the treadmill that was a lower weight capacity, and now all you can hear on treadmill is like the cogs are cogging. I can tell you that. Good morning, Ron. Good to see you. I know I'm live, and it's wonderful. I would like to do my lives a little bit earlier, but that would infringe on like Pulpy and Nikki sometimes, so I don't know. I'll probably stick to my usual time, to be honest.
So it's like I think that kind of stuff was it's just like like the increments that you hit allow you to do more and more stuff. The pedaling thing sounds really cool though.
Yeah, it could be good. Trace, do we have any questions?
I think he
Yeah,
just
we do. Crystal has a question for us.
hold on, sorry. I think he just goes to take the photos, Debbie. So it wouldn't surprise me because like when we watched him at the gym like in the other videos that we watched today, there was no sweat at all. And I'm sorry, but if you weigh over 400 pounds and you're going to the gym and you're lifting weights, you are going to sweat. What is he like Prince Andrew? He doesn't sweat at a Pizza Express? Come on, mate. Have a good night, Nikki. Thank you so much. I just don't want to infringe on other people's time.
Hi, Crystal.
Guys.
How are you?
Oh, well, January is actually my diet break month, so I've been trying to take it easy, and I've been focusing on writing and trying to
Did you
clean my
like
house because I
foodies on
got a
tripping?
vacuum for Christmas, and so I've been finding my carpet underneath all the dog hair.
Nice.
Nice.
The last time I was on, you guys had talked about moving differently. So like doing like backwards walking or doing walking that's like I don't know what they call it, but one day when I was walking at the track at the rec center, there was basketball drills going on down below in the gym part, and I was walking side to side, just kind of doing like a shuffle thing because my
Why are we all of a sudden listening to this woman's monologue? I have a question for you. Well, back in my day when I was known better, I wore an onion on my belt, as was the style at the time. Give me 3 Bs for a quarter, they'd say. Back then, quarters had pictures of bumblebees on them.
knees that works really well for my knees. And I watched them and they were doing this thing where they were putting like one foot in front and then the other foot behind as they
Thank
were
you,
going.
Nikki.
And it took me about a week, maybe almost a week and a half of working on it. But after about 2 weeks, it was like suddenly something clicked in my brain and I remembered how to dance. And I just started, I started one end and I just started going and I was just like, oh my God, I'm not tripping, I'm not falling, I'm not hurting, and I'm having fun. I was so stoked.
That's awesome, Crystal. That's radical.
Maybe,
Thank you.
Debbie.
I so much appreciate it. And the backwards walking has been strengthening my knees. Now I still have to pop them back into joint every time I get up, but it doesn't hurt quite as bad. And I'm noticing that as long as I keep moving, like if I don't sit for longer than an hour, maybe
Ethan's like, when are we going to start talking about me? I'm the star of the podcast here, not this woman talking about onions on her belt, as was the style at the time.
too. I can get up and move around without having to wait for the blood to go back into my cartilage and all my tendons and stuff in order for me to have the circulation, in order to be able to clear out all the inflammation enough that I can actually move and it doesn't hurt so much. But the backwards walking has been really good for that. The sideways walking has been really good for my knees and flexibility. The other thing that's been really helpful is, I'll be 100% honest. You told me about going down and talking to gym bros. I still can't do it. I went down one day and I found a friendly gym gal and she showed me how to do the squat thing. But every time I've gone back, and maybe it's something about January, this is kind of why I decided to make January my month, is because going to
He showed you how to do the squat thing. Some people would pay a lot of money for that.
the gym,
Don't
I sit in the
laugh.
parking lot, kind of, mentally prepare myself to go in there. And I'm just like, the vibe isn't right. And I don't know what it is. And then maybe 5 minutes after that feeling hits and I'm just sitting there trying to mentally see if that's coming from within me somewhere, I watch a group of high school boys walk into the park center and I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to go in there now. So, and I think that's a big reason why I take off January. In addition to the fact that I found that society in general has less pressure to eat, like at events and things like that going on in January. So you can relax a little bit. Whereas if you try to take off February, you've got Valentine's Day candy. If you try to take off March or April, you've got Easter candy. If you try to take off May, June, or July, you're depriving yourself of picnics, graduations, 4th of July. And the whole rest of the year is like that. So what I've found is that if I'm going to do this all year, the best time for me to take off is January, because I go really hard the last 6 months, because especially the last 3 months to get through the holidays themselves.
I'm about to interrupt.
Please don't. By the time we get to January, it's like, okay, there's the finish line.
Is it your birthday, LaFay? Happy birthday if it is. The guy on the outside's like, yeah, I'm going to interrupt. She has picnics every single day. She ate 25,000 sodies.
I'm going to relax for this month. I'm going to get priorities taken care of that I have had to ignore. So like personal projects, things like that, my writing, for example. And I focus on that and really kind of ground myself in myself with myself. And then that allows me to hit it strong when I get into February, because 2 weeks into February, there's chocolate everywhere. And not that I really like chocolate that much, but the societal pressure is there because everywhere, every
Let me ask you this, Crystal, is a diet break, you're not thinking about diet at all, or are you actively maintaining your weight in a diet break in January?
It's an active maintain of my diet break but I'm not counting macros and stuff. So like I eat the stuff I would normally eat. It's not that I'm going through like this month is a little bit different because I'm kind of living off of food security boxes. And there's a lot of just fat gal junk in there, like cookies and candy and like lots of processed stuff that I wouldn't normally eat. So like yes, I have like there was a couple of days last week where I was banging out a whole bunch of writing and I know I wanted the sugar because I know that sugar really helps my brain come up with creative ideas. Please stop. I'm in a meeting. The sugar really helps. It
You're not in a
helps me catalyze
meeting.
ideas and it helps me focus on the
You're not in a meeting, love. You're on a podcast. Don't interrupt me in a meeting. And the guy's like, where do we eat our 12-inch pizzas?
writing itself because like if you're trying to get out like a 1,500 or a 2,000 word article, it can be a challenge to get that kind of like word count in without having
Yes, Ron.
I guess what you would call performance enhancers. But yeah, it's an active maintenance of what I'm already doing. I'm just not paying attention and like weighing out portions. I'm not using measuring cups to do portions
Is
and stuff
it?
like that. I'm just living how I would live if I was already at 180 pounds, which is what my goal weight is because I do like a cheeseburger. So
Got it.
I,
I got it.
I wanted to pick a final weight that I could maintain and still be able to indulge once in a while without going full fat gal. Because you never want to turn cheat day into
What's your fucking question? Because I've heard enough, like Tolkien would be jealous of this amount of world setting. Yeah, diet break. Ethan Suplee's fond of the term diet break, where you have like a few months off your diets and then you get like to get your body used to eating a certain amount of food and then you go back into your calorie deficit.
cheat life. So
I'm good. I'm so glad you're taking this break, and January seems like a good month to do that because there are no celebrations. And I do encourage you to
Yeah.
find something, even if it's a complete invention, to ask one of the gym bros, where the leg press is, or, what does good form on a deadlift look like? What you make something up, even if it's something you don't want to do, because the gym bros
Is
really do
that
want to help
better?
you. That's what I've found. And stay away from the high school boys. I don't like high school boys either in the gym. They tend to be up to no good, I think. Do you ever run into high school boys in the gym, Ethan?
The high school kids around here are actually really nice.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's an anomaly, but my gym is across from our high school.
Oh,
so all the high school
kids.
athletes go to that gym, and they're all nice kids that I've met. The thing with
Yeah.
a lot of the gym guys is like a lot of them wear like headphones and stuff. But if you can muster up,
and when Ethan goes to the gym once a month to take his selfies, the gym bros are like, "Oh, here comes Ethan taking his little photos."
the audacity to like tap them on the shoulder or something, they're gonna help. They don't give a crap. Like they'll
Yeah.
help you. It's not just a matter of whether you can initiate or not.
I think my aversion to high school gym guys comes from my experience in high school.
Yeah,
my
just
very
say you're in
limited
a
experience
meeting
in
for
high school,
everything.
and those kids were not kind, and so I just automatically think all high school kids are not fun. They're going to want to mess with me.
Yeah.
But I'm sure some of them are decent people. Trace, did you say something?
We've got Ryan back home, and he's ready to ask a question if you'd like.
All right. Ryan, how are you? I'm glad you're back home.
Hold on. They're like, I am a bit quiet. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm using my normal mic. I think that's why. Is that better? Is that better? I think because I'm not talking into it. So they've got rid of the woman because she was taking too long, and I bet she's going to be like, "See what you did? See what you did? I can't even talk to my meeting."
Thank you, man. Doing fantastic. Hope you're well as this year keeps on marching on like always. And good to talk to both Ethans as well. Ethan, number two, real quick question when it comes to the existentialism of man and what places feet on the ground
Pretty
every
much,
day. What drives
Nicky.
you, bro?
My family, man. Or the family that I want to have, right?
Sure.
It's like, hey, listen, say what you want about religion. I 100%
My family, the family that doesn't exist.
believe it when the Bible says that God will fulfill the desires of your heart. And the one desire that I have had since I was a child was to start a family.
Wow.
So when I had like this epiphany last January, man. Like after getting back over 600 pounds for the fourth time, I realized if I fail, which I don't know if there ever is a really way to just flat out fail, right? Other than just quitting. But if
Ethan has said that the women he's interested in are not interested in him. So, fake family incoming. So we have to think, what kind of woman does he want? Does he want a chaste, loving Christian girl, or does he want a hot as fuck gym girl? Because they would probably be the kind of people that Ethan's into. He looks at Megan Fox and he's like, PP up, nobbin fanny. Don't laugh.
If I fail this journey, I'm not just failing myself, but I'm also putting the lives of my future wife and kids in jeopardy.
And
I
can resonate with that. Yeah.
As soon as I thought that, and I don't know why it took me so long to think that thought, but as soon as that thought popped into my head, bro, last year was the first time in my entire adult life that I lost a significant chunk of weight and kept it off.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
And it was from
as
from
a
that.
counterpoint to what you just said, I measured this morning on the scale, and I'm the lowest weight in over a decade. And that's all just sheer will.
That's awesome, man.
All just sheer will. And, you know, I've had some health hiccups that I've shared with the community here that aren't going to keep a good man down. They're also going to motivate me to kind of just keep marching forward, knowing that it's an all-encompassing approach when it comes to better health. And I addressed with Ethan from the hospital room a few weeks ago that, you know, this, as much as the heart, are going to be in constant confliction unless you address them in an all-encompassing way. And so starting February the 3rd, I'm seeking professional help over the internet with, you know, people that are licensed to kind of talk through those issues for me.
Ethan Benard does come across as an incel. But I don't... yeah, he's not voluntarily celibate, is he? Yeah, I think he just wants God. He wants God to plonk a delicious vixen in front of him and be like, "Hi, Ethan. My name's Gloria. I'm a 34, 24, 36, and I believe in God and all that." And Ethan's like, "Well, I think you're the girl for me, baby."
And allow me to reach that next step in Ryan 2.0, 3.0. You know, never thought I'd make it to 20, 30, 40. I'll be 42 in a couple of weeks. And man, I'm excited for 50. You know, especially when there's peers in the community like Ethan. That's my baby goats over there. I'm sorry. I just got 3 brand new ones. You hear them screaming?
That is awesome.
But yeah, it's all about community. It's about here in Hawaii talking story and being face to face. Remove the sunglasses, get rid of the device, and have an intelligent conversation that uplifts others, but also fills your own cup. And, you know, having accessibility like we do to all meet in a workspace where we can.
Ethan wants to fill his cup. Got him.
Go out into the cosmos and send positive vibrations to anybody within earshot is amazing. Let's embrace that technology, but let's also put down the others that are distractive and derivative, and the algorithms chase you in one way or another. I'm already a guy with constant juxtaposition of mind and soul, and I don't need those types of things, those poisons you talked about on the internet, Ethan number 2, where people are in there and they're trying to fat shame, or, you know, I'm proud of this big old belly, you know, and one day it'll get smaller, but, you know, for now it is what it is. And, you know, Ethan, I went thrifting yesterday, bro. Look what I grabbed.
Oh, that's awesome.
Director's cut. $1 bargain bin. And so I'm going to watch that. Yeah. Yeah. $1 bargain bin. Haven't seen the director's cut, and I don't even think the puppy's ever been used. So I got to.
What? Hold on. Am I tripping? Hold on. Because I can't even see this guy's got something from the thrift store. You don't want my vibration? I'm picking up good vibrations. I've got 3 baby goats.
Dig out the old DVD player and fire them up, and I'm gonna eat these chips that are plant based, and just, you know, have a vibe night with the wife and the new baby goats that we're bottle feeding. And, you know, life is truly what you make it. If I can just read you one thing before you end the show tonight, I'm back to writing again, and I love sharing my prose with the world. And so I wrote this a while back. Tomorrow I will. Today I can. A journey to discover strength. The enlightenment of sure will leads me to this moment. My life is changed for the better. Going forward, it's up to me. You have great support, but only you can push. Every muscle reaction gets you closer to feeling again. Taking things for granted is not my MO. Anymore, I'm going to focus on repair and remove the poisons, because I aim, I reach, I try, and I succeed.
That's awesome, Ryan. I'm so happy you're doing well. Thank you for sharing that with us, and I hope to see you next week. Ethan, before we wrap this up, remind everybody where they can find you.
Yeah, so most of my social media is,
you can find him at Wendy's, Applebee's, Raising Cane's, McDonald's, Burger King. Anywhere that doesn't involve a gym, basically. Why doesn't he start dating right now? Yeah, I mean, you're very kind, Debbie. I don't know. Ethan's a bit No, I think he's a bit. It's just, I'm not trying to be mean, but I just don't think Ethan's in the position to find himself the lady that he wants. He's looking for an extremely attractive, fit woman. I think that's what he wants. Yeah, I wanted to see the baby goats, but we're not going to see the baby goats. Ethan wants like a Megan Fox type, you know, when, he should find somebody that's, somebody that's a bit on his level. It doesn't really matter. You got to find somebody who loves your personality and you love them back. And if they're hot as fuck, that helps. Ethan is a lot, yeah.
If you
He
just
does
search my
need
name, it'll pop
self-work.
up. Now, for the record, it is Ethan Benard,
Benard.
not Ethan Bernard. I know, like, dude, even
Etienne
phones autocorrect my
Bernard.
name wrong. It's ridiculous. But no, like Instagram and X are just Ethan Benard, and then I believe on TikTok and Facebook I had to add live to the end of it.
Ethan Benard live. That's awesome. That's awesome. Everybody check out Ethan. You are one of the most inspirational guys on. I see you on Instagram. I don't really look at the other places because they're not as nice as Instagram, and I like nice places. But check him.
Well, how do you know that he's one of the best then if you don't even look? Come on, mate. Ugh, this is all fake bullshit. Patting each other on the back kind of shit.
Out. He's doing radical things. All right.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
True,
Absolutely. Today's Daily Nudge comes from Richard Bach. Learning is finding out that you already know. Doing is demonstrating that you know it. Teaching is reminding others that they know just as well as you. You are all learners, doers, and teachers. Bach, who was wildly popular in the 70s with Jonathan Livingston Seagull and illustrations, reminds us that growth is not about acquiring something external so much as recognizing what is already there, paying attention, practicing, sharing. This is how understanding deepens and how it spreads. All right, before we go, a couple quick reminders. You can send questions to ethansupleeshow@twoway.tv. If you'd rather send a video question, email it and we'll get it on the show. Additionally, join our subreddit r/Ethan Suplee Lifelong. The link is on the screen and in YouTube and in the show notes. It's a great place for me to interact with your comments, questions, and suggestions. In closing, remember, paths to better health rarely begin with a flash of insight. Start where you are, try things, adjust as you go, and do small things each day. Progress comes to those willing to move forward without guarantees. That's all for this week. And remember, health is lifelong. It is built, not born.
Here's Ethan Suplee and Etienne Bernard there. So that was that podcast. It basically is just... It's just Ethan going, I'm really doing sustainably well on my weight loss. I fasted and shed a load of weight, and now I'm going back to fasting again. I'm doing really well. So Ethan isn't doing anything healthy when it comes to weight loss. He's not doing anything sustainable when it comes to weight loss. There are so many better influencers out there that you could go for when it comes to weight loss. And we'll check in with Journey with Sal to see how he's doing. But honestly, it's just awful the way that Ethan goes about things. Okay, so yeah, we'll just have a look at a few shorts of Ethan, of Sal rather, just to round things off. He's like the stand-in for Joe Rogan. I know, right? So this was his most recent weekly weigh-in. He does weigh in daily, but he goes by the Sunday weigh-in as his official result. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know why my GPU's lagging so much. I might need to update it. Hopefully, that's all it is.
Let's weigh in. Hi, I'm Sal. It's weigh-in Sunday. Today I weighed in at 516 pounds. That's an 8-pound loss from last weekend. Last week was really good. I ate my meals like I was supposed to. I was in the gym. Had that one tricky moment on Wednesday, but I think that daily weigh-ins help get me back on track faster. I was able to course correct to have a good weigh-in today. Next week, I'm going to do the same thing. Hopefully have another good week. And I appreciate being here. We'll talk soon. Cheers.
516.8 pounds.
Ooh, new low, baby. New low. Look at that number.
506.
Let's weigh in.
That's his lowest
People see me, but they just don't know.
What I told you, Cutter.
People see me, but
So February 9th, This is him at okay, he's lifting full stacks. Sal is so strong, man. Like, so strong. It's unbelievable. Like, do you see the amount of weight he lifts? It's crazy. Like, literally full stacks of weight. On the tricep pushdown as well. And on the bicep curl. And on the chest fly. It's insane. Like, he's the kind of guy you'd want to be a strongman.
524.8 pounds.
524 today. That's 8 pounds up from yesterday. And last night, I probably could have eaten better. I didn't eat as bad as it could have been, but it wasn't like perfect either. So, room for improvement, especially on holidays and big events. I gotta work on moving forward. I appreciate being here. We'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.
Okay, so he's put 8 pounds on after a couple of days, but he's told us why he's done that. And if you look at February 9th, he's done strength training. That's going to put on some water weight as well so that your muscles can repair. So, yeah, it's just how it goes, unfortunately. Sal is honest about his weight loss journey. He tells us what's going on. And these are the kind of people that we need to be supporting because he's genuine, he's humble, he's just a great guy. And there isn't really the bullshit that comes along with Ethan, who's like, my mentals, I ate 2,501 calories today, I did so well. All right, mate, all right. Hard on the knees, yeah, he'll get there. I think he's gonna be one of those people that gets to it. Sal's start weight was 725. 725. But does he have a fake family? Unfortunately not. He has a real one. He works out with his brothers, I believe. Or his cousins, I can't remember. But hey, at over 500 pounds, Sal is a handsome guy already. So, he's only gonna get more good looking as the weight comes off. But there you go. Does he have goats? I don't know. We'll have to ask him. I'll send him a DM after this stream and I'll ask him if he's got any baby goats. So that was stream today. Thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to have you all around. Thank you for all the comments, all the likes, and thank you for the super chats and gifted memberships. Always appreciated. You all take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful day, and I shall speak to you very soon. Take care. Bye.